Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here, and it's Saturday morning, and the Raptors have won their sixth straight game, and they're 15-1 between both teams for the month of November. 15 wins, 15 of these, baby. The one thing I care about is this: 15 of those to one loss to the Sixers on a Saturday on a back-to-back that was kind of bogus. The phone lines will be open today. So if you want to call me and talk about the game, you're more than welcome to. If you don't have the phone number and you've wanted to call, you can get a hold of me through Facebook or Discord. I'll give you the number there. But yeah, if you want to call anybody, you can call today. All right, let's get right into it. We'll start with the comments and we'll do all the regular stuff. Instagram stories, classic card. I got the straight goods on the Canadian goods, all that stuff you love on the Raptor Freak channel. Let's go. Trevor J, first in. Commissioner J, how are you today, sir? Life has taught us we are not always in control. Life is full of experiences, lessons, heartbreaks, and pain, but it has also shown us love, possibility, and new beginnings. Embrace it all. It makes us who we are. Yeah, and remember, after even storms comes a clear sky. I like that. I like that. Yeah. That makes me think of the rooms. Of course, I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous. Been in that for 15 years now. I have my 15-year birthday of no alcohol since 2010 at the beginning of this month. I didn't even note it. I was like, man, I was like, man, you've had 15 years. You got a 15-year chip, bro. Well, what they say in those rooms is this too shall pass. It's a thing where it's like, look, hardships and different things are going to happen. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be things that you're not ideal that you're going to have to kind of work through. And in some ways, those things are important because they test your mettle and they make you a stronger person. So, everything has its purpose for why it happens to you. And in some ways, it may be unfair and it may seem messed up. But, the best thing to do is have a faith in the Lord and the Creator above, that his plan is the right one and that he'll see you through to what happens. And that's the whole thing right there. But you need the difference. Once again, we talked about this the other day. You have to have hot to have cold. And to have the difference in experience in life, knowing when things are good and things are bad, it's important in some ways. And yes, it does make us who we are. Thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom. Remember, guys, if you're in a spot, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. That's right. Trevor's saying this. I'm loving the locker room photos after every win, saying we have guys. It's something I've never seen the Raptors ever do in the whole history of the Raptors. This is 3 games in a row now that they're doing complete team photos in the locker room after the games. And it really is a huge symbol of unity. It's a huge symbol of vibes. It's a huge symbol of, the Darko coach team that's fun that the Grizzlies had a couple of years ago that danced in the hallway before the games and did all kinds of goofy stuff. That fun, that feeling, that culture is here with us. And it's totally bought in. I mean, listen, Brandon Ingram's been in this league for 10 years. Scotty Barnes is the franchise leader. These guys in these pictures are hanging around and they're taking a picture with everybody and they're making sure everybody's in the picture, which is really cool. And I think it's awesome. I think that in some ways it's become a tradition after wins. And it's kind of cool because it showcases the person with the chain who Mamu got it last night. In the middle, it always has the chain and it's just like their group. It's just like, these are the boys. These are the guys. These are my dudes. And they repost the picture on their Instagrams afterwards. So, yeah, the team pictures are a very welcome new thing because they truly are a huge symbol of the unity of our team right now. I've got a lot to say about the Raptors and their possibilities for this year because my eyes are open to a whole other realm of possibilities that are amazing right now. Amazing. I had to flash on this. Lex, you this summer, you said the Raptors could be a top 4 Eastern team. And, well, it's looking like you're right. And then you said top 3. Right now we're top 2. This is the thing. I thought about this more. The Raptors have on the download some playoff experience and a lot more experience and smarts and intelligence as a team than the average young team. We're not like the Wizards. I saw them last night. They may be young and talented, but they don't have organization and they don't have unity and they don't know what the hell they're doing off of each other. They might as well be a bunch of individuals just wearing the same uniform. The Raptors are different. The Raptors are individuals, but they're all for one for all, win for all, and they are on the same page, and they're a work in progress as a collective, and they get it. They get it. And the aptitude and the IQ and the acumen of our players, man, they're starting here. This is like the first month of the season, and they're starting at this baseline of excellence and also aptitude and acumen that whatever this plane that's still kind of taxiing on the runway hasn't even taken off, y'all, completely. Maybe it has taken off because we're winning so much, but it's like just taken off and the flight is just started. And, you know, the pilot of the plane, Darko, could make that plane go up higher altitudes. Like just keep going up because our guys are really smart. They're totally bought in. They trust the coaches, and they are executing to a T. In fact, the big thing that happened in the last two games is the Raptors had huge third quarters, monster third quarters. Last night, they scored 48 points in the third quarter last night. That's amazing. That's insane. Alvin Williams said, well, I want to know what Darko's doing to them at halftime. What's the massage trainer doing? And all stuff. I figured it out last night. I was like, I figured out what Darko's doing and how he's getting these 40-point quarters against Philadelphia and Washington the last two games. It's real simple, honestly. It's a combination of a couple things. One of them is his rotation. His rotation is masterful. His rotation is beautiful. In some ways, his rotation is something he can't go no wrong on right now because he has simple principles that uphold the quality of his rotation at all times. And that's basically, I have to have one of the three big names on my team, Barnes, Barrett, or Brandon, on the court at all times. At all times. You will, unless it's garbage time at the end of the game, you are going to see RJ, Scotty, or Brandon on the court at all times. And that's quality assurance. That's yeah, we're not going to have any Malachi Precious show here. No. There ain't going to be any of that bullshit. No. So basically, like I talked about briefly yesterday about Chandler Parsons of the Run It Back podcast, criticizing the Raptors and saying, oh, I don't know if they have a bench. I don't know if they've got depth to be able to handle the whole NBA season and be up top. That's just negative ninnies who don't take a look inside under the hood and actually look at the car and just opining from looking at it from the outside. And it's absolute horse crap. Because honestly, we have a good role-playing bench that's about 10 or 12 deep and very useful. And like I said, when you have five really top-notch quality starters, you can spread that spread across the whole 48 minutes real nice and even so that you've got either Barrett, Barnes, or Brandon out there all the time. And that's a big part of it. It's like, it's not even like a bench unit. It's like, it's the starters and how he spreads them out over the whole game. And what happens is in the third quarter, the bench, the starters come back out and they just whoop everybody. And then they bring in bench guys and it's just piled on. And all of a sudden we have a monster third where we almost double up scoring on the other team. How do we do this? How do we do this? Well, it's partly what I just described with the spreading out of the starters over the rotation over the whole entire game, but it's also this. And they're like this, you know. I know I've talked about human design a little bit already on this channel, but a manifest generator type in human design is somebody who can take in information and use it very quickly. Like they can move very swiftly on their feet in decision making. And well, in some ways, our team is a manifest generator type as a team. And basically, the whole first quarter and the first half, the coaches of the Raptors are watching the other team and their proclivities and what they're doing. On every given night, you know, different guys can be hot. Some player may be really good, like CJ McCollum's going off for Washington, or Keyshawn George is doing this, or this has become a problem in the first half of this game because this player is exploiting this. Well, all the coaches on our staff are sitting there watching the game, and some of them are looking for different things. Some of them are looking for, our defensive stability and how well we're doing on defense, whether how we're active and getting to our assignments. Some of them are looking at, well, this is where this part of their team is destroying us and we need to adjust to this. And they get the list. And at halftime, Darko goes with the coaches, with all the players, and they give them their list, or they talk about, these are the things we observed in the first half, and these are the adjustments. And this is exactly the right antidote for what has happened with them in the first half. And you need to switch and do this. And the thing is, these guys are so bought in, so trusting, and they're very smart players that know how to change quickly. They're giving them, once again, made to order. This is the changes. These are adjustments. Come out and do this, and you'll see good results. And Darko's a good coach. He knows what he's telling them. And bam, all of a sudden they come back. You couple in the tiredness of the other team, because they're getting tired out from the way we're playing on defense and the way we're doing our rotations. And then, boom, also a recipe of, these are specific adjustments and changes that we made at halftime, and we're absolutely running you off the floor at this point. That's it right there. I'm pretty positive that it's basically like, and I know I'm saying, well, Lex, all coaches do this. Yeah, but there's levels to this. There's levels to this. Sure, every coach kind of tries to make adjustments at halftime to change the game in some ways, but this is on a PhD level. This is on a very specific, we're gonna get really in underneath the hood of the car and really get in the nuts and bolts of it kind of adjustments. Like, these are on a whole other level. In some ways, you could come to a player on your team and say, we need you to guard him harder because he's just killing us. And the guy may not even listen to you on another team, or he may be like, I don't know what to do. But the coaches are coming to our guys and saying, you need to stop this guy. You need to do this. And this is how you're going to do it. And listen to us and trust us, because we'll tell you how you'll do it and you'll have success doing it. It's just that adjustments are off the chain. And in some ways, because our guys are advanced AP level students, they get it, and they get it fast, and they don't screw around, and they execute it. They execute it perfectly. And that's how you get these big jumps and these huge quarters. And it's also right around when we bust the game open. So there's a lot of easy transition baskets. We deflate them with crazy ass plays, where it's like, we pass the ball around like 20 times, and then boom, all of a sudden it's an IQ 3-pointer at the end of the play. And that kind of stuff's deflating. So I'm just saying, that's what it is. If there's anything that's working well for a team like the Wizards in the first half, we're taking it away at halftime, because Darko's raising the alarm and saying, this is what we do. This is what we do. They listen. They know exactly what to do, and they execute it, and they get it done. In some ways, not every team in the NBA has good communication or good comprehension or good, hey, go do this, you'll win. Okay, coach, sure. Some guys are knuckleheads. Some guys just won't learn that fast. Some guys can't go that quick with learning like a manifest generator can. And that's what it is right there. In some ways, we've got advanced AP, PhD level students. And at halftime, Darko's switching it up and saying, look, I seen this. Mike Batiste saw this. Evo saw this. Pat Delaney saw this. And this is what we're going to do. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. He could do it specifically for each guy and say, like, Scotty, in the second half, I just want you to really concentrate on offensive rebounds. I can see that they're weak on boxing out when we shoot, and you could go get all kinds of easy garbage points because they don't have a center. They got Vucevic, and that's it. There's different stuff, minutia, little small details that the coaching staff can reveal to them or talk to them or say this. And plus, you even see them on the court talking to each other. RJ, Emmanuel, and Scotty stand in a huddle. They're picking things apart in real time while the game's going on also, and adjusting. And because there's a trust, there's a equality, there's a level of team. These guys are really working off each other with no ego. And they're able to get a lot more done faster because that's all checked at the door. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of teams in this league that don't work well because there's egos. There's people that are kind of selfish. There's people that are kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do this, bro, because in some ways you'll look good and I won't. You'd be shocked how much of that is on the down low under the surface around the NBA. It's a team sport, but hell, the millions that get paid are individual. And, that's why in some ways it's very special to get a truly team in the NBA, because it's so hard to get that balance. Just like it's hard to get a G League team to play as a team when they all have selfish wants to get into the NBA. So it's very, very good when your team's working as a unit. And also when they're sacrificing and there's no ego and they're able to change the things that they need to do on the fly to win because they're that smart and that adept and that on it. So yeah, there's a lot there. And when I talk about all this and we see the success we're having now, just imagine as we grow and continue to work on the energy and the synergy and the chemistry and the gelling, where we could be in April. There's a lot of progress and there's a lot more levels we can go to. And especially specifically just with Brandon, there's a lot more levels. There's a lot more levels. So yeah, I figured it out. I'm pretty sure that the third quarter jumps are from the very in-depth adjustments that are specific, and these guys are like surgical about applying them in the third, along with the just amazing rotation that he's crafted that has been solid for like this whole stretch. Like, have y'all been upset about any of the rotations that Darko's been doing? No, you've been delighted by new combinations of like, oh, wow, he's doing the quick shed again. But this time he has Mamu and Grady and Brandon with quick shed. Ooh, that's interesting. Or look at this Brandon in the bench lineup out there. Wow, I like this. Even at the end of the game, it's fun to watch the all shooting guard, small forward lineup at the end of the bench, guys, with Garrett, Jameson, Jacoby, Oshai, and Grady out there. That was kind of a fun little lineup at the end, even though that was just to close the game and stuff like that. But yeah, fantastic win by the Raptors. They have qualified for the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. And yeah, a 30-point win of the Wizards. It's a rout. It's a rout, baby. That's right. It's a rout. Let's go. Trevor's saying this. That ankle twist on Ingram last night looked scary. He was mad. At one point, it looked like he wanted to get up and punch Bub Carrington in the face after that. But Mark Davis had his back. And thank goodness. I knew he was going to call a flagrant on that. I told my dad, I was like, yeah, he's going to call a flagrant on that. He didn't give him a clear path to land. And he did twist his ankle a bit. But as Josh Lundberg said after the game, guys, fear not. That was the other ankle. That isn't the ankle that he hurt last year, that he twisted last night. The one that rolled was the other ankle. Thank God, not the ankle that he had all the problems with last year. So that's a good sign. We'll say that. That's a good sign. Now, the next two games for the Raptors are back-to-back tomorrow and Monday. Will there be the possibility that Brandon's going to take one of those games off? Maybe. I don't know, just to be precautious. I mean, we are playing the Nets tomorrow, and I'd much rather him play against the Cavs on Monday, if we have to. But I also know that Brandon's not trying to miss no games. He's missed enough games in the last year. And if he can play in a back-to-back, especially a home back-to-back where he's not traveling the night in between, yeah, he's going to be out there for both games. Because that's the thing. That wasn't his ankle that was hurt last year that he twisted. It was the other ankle. Thank God. Let's just put it that way. Thank God. Yeah, totally the right call by Mark Davis, going to look at the cartoons and calling the flagrant foul on Bub Carrington with his careless closeout and getting underneath Brandon Ingram. I mean, in some ways, you saw Bub apologize to him when he came back on the court because in some ways, yeah, hello, Bub Carrington. Do you know that Brandon just missed most of the last year because of an ankle injury? Yeah, maybe you should protect your opponents in the league because – everybody's just trying to stay healthy and play. And, in him in particular, you don't need to be trying to roll his ankle or anything like that. Yeah. And I think that the refs very cognizant of Brandon missing time because of an ankle injury. And, the opponent should be also. So Bub very, very effusively apologized to Brandon when he came back on the court, saying, man, I had no idea. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, there's some respect there, which is good, which is very, very good. Yeah, let's see. Jimmy Pope's back in the house. The Pope of Positivity has a lot of positivity right now because I'm telling you, it's good stuff, man. Yeah, it feels so good to have a good team again. We are handling business against the teams we should be handling easy. Let's keep it going. Yeah, there's a lot of signs that this is a very high-level team because we're winning on the road. We're beating the easy opponents, no slouches and no slouching to slouches. And in some ways, we're not getting to resting on our laurels because of success. We're staying hungry. We're staying humble. And we are just staying on task. And that is to continue to win. You go through the years of down and toughness and not winning more than you're losing. You feel those feelings and you don't want to go back to that. But to protect the place where you are now, there's certain things you got to do also, and that's staying even keeled and not getting too big for your britches, just because you're winning a lot. So they're doing a good job of balancing all this, Jimmy. And I'm very happy to be back in a more winning period with the Raptors too. Now, there's always been small victories and good victories here and there, even if the winning percentage is as good. But it's nice to be winning at this clip again. Oh yeah, it's nice to be winning at this clip, and we're for real. ESPN's so bad. Listen to this, guys. All right, they have NBA Cup takeaways from last night. They have a article they put out like 8 hours ago last night. And well, what did they talk about? I think only one team qualified for the quarterfinals last night, but you wouldn't even fucking know that with their coverage on ESPN. They talked about how, all right, this is their whole article. They're talking about the third iteration of the Emirates Cup has continued on Friday as we entered another week of group play. And they start talking about LeBron won the first one, Giannis won the second one. And, they're saying, but what team will claim their stake for this one? Here's what you need to know. This is all you need to know. They do not mention a damn thing about us clinching at all. They don't even say that. Like they're saying, you're not telling your people that the Toronto Raptors are the first team to qualify for the quarterfinals. You don't have any article. They wrote an article about the Heat Bulls game last night, but they don't talk about anything about Toronto. And they don't even mention us. Like they bring up Group A and they just say Cleveland and Atlanta and this and this. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with ESPN? Like, why is there a media blackout on the Toronto Raptors' success? Like, seriously, y'all are not informing your public. In this article, you should be glowingly talking about the Raptors as the only team that's gotten through to the quarterfinals so far. And you're not. You omit them completely from here. So you're not giving all your audience what they need to know, ESPN. You're failing as journalists because you're omitting the truth and the facts and the reality and the truth that the Toronto Raptors are the only team that has advanced in the NBA Cup so far. You didn't say anything about that at all. You barely mentioned the Raptors. You put our score up and beating them just like all the other scores last night, but you didn't even do a special section or anything. Yeah, you know what? Seeing just how much a media blackout or success in this NBA Cup, it just shows that y'all are biased as hell and that you are really trying not to have anything to do with the Raptors having success. So, yeah, 2 finger salute for ESPN for being horrible at their jobs. You guys aren't journalists. You guys are an entertainment channel that picks bullshit packages for how you want to cover it. And honestly, you're kind of just a glazing Lakers channel is what you are. Because, yeah, you guys aren't covering the NBA Cup correctly, obviously. ESPN.com. You jackasses. That's what I say right there. Yeah, they don't even mention that we won or did this last night on their website at all. Not at all. And only on the game page of the game last night they say it. But that's it. That's it. It's crazy, man. James is here. Good to see James. We have 4 players in our starting lineup that can average 20 any given night. We have 5. We have 5. Not only that, we have 4 guys last night get 20, and one of them was off the bench. And he's my player of the game, Sandro Mamukelishvili. Yeah, Sandro got the chain last night, and he was off the chain in some ways, man. He got 21 minutes of play, and in those 21 minutes, he scored 23 points. So whenever somebody's scoring more than the minute total, I'm like, yeah, you're doing it, man. 23 points in 21 minutes. Woo-wee. He was on 8 of 15 shooting. He was 2 of 3 from 3, 5 of 6 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, a plus 22 for Sandro Mamu off the bench. Yeah, he was electric. He was electric. No, he was just really a good spark, a value pickup, a versatile guy. He's not like we're saying. He's positionless. He doesn't want to be called a big. He doesn't want to be called a 5 or a 4. He's, as he said in the interview, he said, "I'm a 3. I want to play 3 like I did for Georgia at Eurocup. You saw me. I was playing 3 at a Eurobasket." I'm like, yeah, he was playing 3. And he's running the floor up and down like 3, these layups, these dunks and transition is crazy. Guys can be next to him. He's still beating them with speed and power and laying the ball in effectively. Yeah, he's an awesome player, man. He's been so good. And he really is loving being a Raptor. In some ways, I get the feeling that Sandro Mamu's always been kind of that odd kid that didn't always totally fit in wherever he's been. And that in some ways he's felt like an outsider in a lot of situations. I think that's part of the reason why he's so easy to bond with friends and fans and teammates. And he does do that. But in some ways, it's like, man, this organization seems like just the right fit for him. In some ways, like the coach Darko seems like the best coach for him. And I think that in the interview after the game, Sandro really espoused on this, saying, Darko's a European coach and he likes to play at fast pace. And I like that he's telling us all to be ourselves and do the things we want to do. Like that's very empowering. And that's part of the reason why Sandro's starting to go above and beyond and be like this. I mean, we got to remember, Mahmoud Kelishvili on the Spurs and the Bucks was not a regular rotation player. Often, at times, he would get relegated to the third team and not get games, DMPs. He DMP a lot because he wasn't just a standard guy that was called on every night. So this year is really the first year where he is like this. And he's really, really grateful and going with it. And honestly, I think a big, huge key of it is Darko's philosophies about letting players be who they are. And that's just letting Mahmoud Kelishvili flourish right now. Just flourish. It's amazing. It's amazing. My second star of the game is Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes. There was a section in the game last night. It's so crazy. In like 15 seconds, Scotty collected every single stat you can get in the box score. It was so weird. Y'all know that section I'm talking about. He had a turnover even in time just to get a block or a block shot or a steal also. It was like in 15 seconds in one section of the game, he managed to score a 3, get a rebound, get a steal, get a block, get a turnover, all in like the same little section. And I was like, wow, that's like expediting, like express stat stuffing. That this man could get all the stats, including the turnover, in the 15-second span. That was cool, man. When I saw him do that, I was like, wow, look at Scotty getting all the stats all at once. But yeah, Scotty's solid game. He's still very much not totally dependent on the score, but we're seeing advancements with his offensive game. We're seeing very much there's a prerequisite mid-range game that he goes to all the time. I also like that at this point in his career, his proclivity is to not settle for threes and just shoot a lot of threes outside lazily like he did a couple years ago. And it's more he is getting into the paint to get a paint touch, and he's using his superior size and strength and talent against his opponent to just make a shot over them, a really high percentage shot. So he's really accelerating his growth with his mid-range game in as far as his power game, as far as using his full body and strength to bully people and do whatever the hell he wants. We saw at one point last night, Scotty took his old friend Champagne to the basket and scored on him right down. He backed him right down and scored on him. And there was shit talking there between Jay Pangy and Scotty Barnes, because Justin started doing some stuff at the other end, trying to get back. So it was very interesting. But yeah, Scotty's evolving in his low post game more and more. And some of it's getting more tightened up. It's getting more solid, whether it's the turnaround, whether it's just I'm going to use my body and dribble in, elevate, and just put a little baby hook over you. There's a lot of advancements still happening with all that stuff, refining and getting better and better. So yeah, Scotty's overall stat line, 30 minutes for young Wayne Barnes, 23 points, 10 of 15 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. So he did get his threes in there. I mean, when he's open, it's part of the whole matrix of the play action where they're just throwing it all every which way. If it lands on Scott's Plinko spot and he's wide open, nobody's near him, he'll take that confident squared shoulders, feet square with his shoulders, 3-point shot that he's doing so well now, which kind of has an action like Bill Lambier's old 3 with the arms like this. He's very money on that. And that's why he's very confident with his 3-point shot. Plus his pinkies aren't all fucked up. So he makes threes this year. So everybody's like, whoa, why is Scotty such a good 3-point shooter? I thought we decided last year he's a shitty 3-point shooter. No, you didn't. You may have decided that, but that wasn't truth. It's just his hands were messed up. And he didn't shoot well last year because his hands were messed up. His hands are fine this year. and you see the more real reality of Scotty's 3-point shooting prowess. But yeah, the 3 for 4 is fine. He picked his spots in the right time in the flow of the game, in the flow of the offense, and the beautiful game of passing all over the place. Well, it lands on his spot. He's wide open. Square up, hit that 3. Square up, hit that 3. That's it right there. He did not get to the free throw line again, which is weird, man. Why are y'all not putting Scotty on the line? Put Scotty on the line. 5 rebounds for him, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 steals, a plus 14 for Scotty. Yeah, just a great all-around game, a team game, a win. And once again, this is all that matters to Scott. He doesn't give a shit about any other stats. In some ways, he just wants to win. He just wants to win. My third star of the game is RJ. Man, RJ is just, he's just the truth, man. I just love RJ so much. When he gets to play at Scotiabank Arena, it's just so special. He's just a real, true Canadian. And just he loves playing for the Raptors. You can see it. RJ last night, 29 minutes, 24 points, 9 of 15 from the field. Some people described on the road trip he had a mini shooting slump. Yeah, maybe 2 games where he shot under 50%, but that's it. Like maybe 2 games this season, RJ has shot under 50%. Every other game he's shot 50% or higher. Like this one last night, 9 of 15 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Yeah, or 4 of 8. Sorry, he was a little rough at the free throw line, but who cares? We won. It was a 30-point win. You know, I love the threes. When RJ hits a 3, like he has a different kind of square up. Like, and he's so money. Like, I feel like in some ways, RJ's the most steady 3-point shooter on our team right now. Like, in some ways, I mean, you could say Jameson, sure. But RJ, in some ways, on the more regular basis and efficiency, he's more money from 3 than anybody on the team right now. Like, if he's wide open and we know RJ's got that 3, I feel like he's making it. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying, right? That, you know, I have way more confidence in some ways if he's letting it fly that it's going to go through, because the way he shoots it, it's such a rifle. It's just like it's like a push, and then like just like the way it goes through the net. It's just like, yeah, he's a dead eye. He's worked on this. He's worked on this. But yeah, RJ was awesome. 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, and a plus 15 for Rowan Barrett Jr. last night. Yeah, another great contribution from him, as always. And plus, he's getting baskets at times when we need them. And that's the great thing of the smoothing out of this starting lineup. Like I said, it's like Brandon's out there. He's the relief valve, safety, just in case the offense is struggling and they need a shot made. Well, RJ's that too, if neither Scotty or Brandon are out there too. And we saw it happen. There was that one shot he made that was a bank shot, but was a split second too late and didn't count later. But it looked good when it happened, because I was like, oh, man, this shot clock's about to run out and the Raptors aren't going to get anything on this possession. But then miraculously, with some crazy-ass scoring mentality and ability, RJ made this crazy circus shot that wasn't even totally square, that bounced off the backboard and went in. But alas, it was like maybe a couple tenths of a second too after getting out of his hand in time. So it didn't count, but it looked real good. And it was a cool, badass play, even if the points didn't count. You know, that was cool, man. That was a really cool shot. I loved it. I wish it had counted, but it didn't. The 4th star of the game is Brandon Ingram. Yeah, Brandon had that scare with his ankle a little bit for a second. Thankfully, it was the other one. Of course, his girlfriend, Glorilla, sitting at courtside enjoying the game. And, you know, she was concerned when he got hurt. She was kind of, I watched in the highlights after he got hurt, she was kind of looking at him really closely. And like, even after the game, she was asking him at courtside about how his leg feels. So it's nice to have somebody who cares about you like that. Brandon Ingram, 30 minutes, 24 points, 6 of 12 shooting. He missed all 3 of his threes, but 12 of 13 at the free throw line. Yeah, they were giving him respect and putting him on the line. Andy Nagy, Matt Callio, and Mark Davis, they were putting respect on Brandon's name. And in some ways, man, he really is making us go a little bit more mainstream in the NBA right now, because, you know, a lot of people like Brandon down south as far as his career and his ability and things he's already accomplished. So they've kind of come to our fan nation now. And I think it's really interesting to see, like, people that love Brandon, that have, you know, people like his family and friends and his fans that are fans of him as an individual. I think that they're very happy that he's in Toronto. I think that they're all kind of like, man, I'm just really, it's such a breath of fresh air to see Brandon happy, smiling, enjoying his life, kicking so much butt, winning, having the camaraderie with his team. I mean, I know Brandon has been a real good teammate his whole entire NBA career. He bonds with his teammates really well. The emotions that he had when he left New Orleans were very apparent about leaving guys like Trey Murphy and Jose Alvarado and those guys. So I think that it's awesome that people that really know Brandon for a long, long time and many years now, I'm pretty sure they're feeling like Brandon's in a really good place right now in his life. And that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, Kawhi Leonard had his greatest year in his NBA career in a Toronto Raptors jersey. He only did it in 1 year, and that's fine. But Brandon Ingram, he has a future with us that's multi-years. And I think that he's going to relish it, and he's going to strive and go higher and higher in his career because he is a Toronto Raptor. And the people that love him are just so happy to see him at this place. Because I'm sure in the last year, there's been dark moments where things have been a little shaky and a little scary. And to get to this point where you're seeing the success again and you see him smiling, it probably means a lot to Brandon Ingram fans and family and friends. I'm telling you right now, it probably means so much, man. But yeah, 12 of 13 at the line. Mark Davis, respect for respecting the talent that Brandon Ingram is. You need to give those free throws to Scotty and RJ more too, though. 8 rebounds for BI also, 6 assists and 4 turnovers, 2 steals and a block, a plus 25. Scotty described Brandon as incredible in his post-game interview. He said he's incredible. And he even like very excitedly interrupted the interviewer's question saying, yeah, did you see him get on the floor to get that ball in the first quarter? I was like, I saw that too. And it's like, yeah, he's bought in. It's like, you know, players don't want to do that kind of stuff if they're messing around on a 500 team or a losing team or something like that. No, he's bought in. He knows we're winning and he's going all out. And I love that. I love that. Even Shed, who was mic'd up in the game last night, came up to him and was kind of razzing him. You got on the floor, Brandon. You got on the floor. It really does show the effort, and it's badass. I love it. It is a really true thing that, like, in some ways, Ingram is going more complete than ever in his entire career as a player. Because, you know, on other teams like the Pelicans, they needed him to do the heavy lifting scoring-wise. And in some ways, there's a little bit of breathing room on the Raptors with Barrett and Barnes and Quickly around that, you know, there's not as much pressure on Ingram to do everything in the offensive end. And he can really get back to playing two sides of the ball way more. And we're seeing vast improvements, not improvements. They were always there. It's just that he just never really put the energy into it sometimes in some ways. But it's like the blocks, the steals, and the media scrums asking Darko, it's like Brandon all of a sudden is becoming a more, even more of a defensive player for you guys. And it's like, it's just awesome. In some ways, it's because the pressure on the offense is off of him. It's like, it's weird because it's like a perfect kind of thing where we take pressure off him and he takes pressure off us. Like in some ways, we need the swagger and the confidence that we get from having a caliber player like Brandon Ingram on our team. It's a similar swagger to when we had Vince. It's a similar swagger when we had Kawhi. It's like it's the kind of feeling when you show up on the court, you know you have a badass player on your team that you know you're coming in with, and you can have a little bit of like cockiness. But you don't have cockiness, you just confidence. And I appreciate him for that. And on the other hand, we allow him the ability to show his more complete game because he's not so relied on to be the end-all be-all in scoring in certain ways like the Pelicans had to do. So that it's a great relationship, and it's been a very fortuitous and a beautiful working out since the trade to get Brandon from New Orleans. And even if it was a delayed thing, well, you know what? Good things come to those who wait. And now, Raptors fans, we waited, and now the good things are coming. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's right. That's right. My 5th star of the game last night is Emmanuel Quickly. We're going to get all the main players, the guys who did the big heavy lifting. And, well, Emmanuel's one of them for sure. In 30 minutes, Emmanuel has 17 points, 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3, 50% from the three-point line. I love it. 2 for 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds and 7 assists, 0 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block, a plus 17. Yeah, the 7 assists to 0 turnovers, that's the calibration I'm looking at when you're the PG is what's your assist turnover ratio? 7-0. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. And you shot 50% from 3. Okay, Emmanuel. And you got a steal and a block. Okay, Emmanuel. Yeah, and you shot 6 for 10. And you contributed some points, and you got to call 5. That's right. That's right. You got to call 5. We called 5 last night. That's right. Yeah, no, Emmanuel's awesome. He's, earning his money. Everybody who thinks Emmanuel wasn't worth that contract, you're an idiot. And he's also like, it's really kind of, he's in a comfort zone now. In some ways, like he's worried about coming back and establishing after being hurt so much last year, kind of like Brandon, and getting in the flow and then kind of like, getting in the rhythm. And, the slow start for Emmanuel quickly is exactly that. Regardless also that Jakob Poeltl was out, his best guy to work off of. And, he had a slow start and everybody was kind of overreacted. Let's just put it that way. A lot of overreaction to quickly at the beginning of the season. This is more who he is night in, night out, what we've been seeing in this win streak. So, yeah, assuage your fears about whether Emmanuel Quickly is worth the contract he's getting paid. I think we're seeing it now. I'm going to do 2 more stars since it was a rout and it was an NBA Cup game. So we're going to get 7 stars today. The 6th star for me is Jamal Shead. Jamal Shead off the bench. He didn't score a whole lot, but he did get 10 assists, and it's the most assists he's gotten all season, guys. 16 minutes, Shead had 7 points, 2 of 2, perfect from the field. Both of them were threes, and he was 1 and 2 at the free throw line, 1 rebound, 10 assists with 0 turnovers. So once again, our 2 point guards, 17 assists, 0 turnovers. That's perfect. That's perfect. They got 17 assists between the 2 of them and 0 turnovers. Woo-wee. That's like perfect point guard work. And in some ways, Emmanuel Quickly is much more than a point guard. And I'm telling you, Shead is such a floor general off the bench as the backup point guard. In some ways, we've said for years that one of the most important positions on an NBA team is the backup point guard, not the starters. In some ways, the backup point guard is so crucial for a team. We know Malachi Flynn. We know, it's such a crucial position. Yeah, Shead had 1 steal and 1 block also, just like Emmanuel, and a plus 19. I like Shead being mic'd up. It's fun. He knew he was being mic'd up. He did he was singing the anthem with Jacoby at the beginning of the game, the Canadian anthem. And then he was doing a little rap with the refs or something like, I got the ball. Ha, 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 ha. And it's like, this is for Jonathan Mobo. I'm going to do a little rap. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's kind of cringe. But that's okay. I'm cringe on my channel all the time too, Jamal. So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, he's kind of cool to be on the mic. I wanted to hear more of the mic content of what Jamal was saying out there. I feel like they had more material, but they didn't want to show it. My last star of the game for last night, the 7th star is Jacoby. Jacoby did a pregame interview with Danielle Michaud, and he basically said what I've been saying on this channel is his focus is defense, guys. In some ways, we got to let him off the hook for his offense and anything he does offensively, because his main focus on the Raptors right now is to shore up his defensive side and be as good a defender as possible. Once again, I'll remind you of OG Anunoby in his early career with the Raptors, how he was way, way more a defensive player than an offensive player, and that really helped him in his development over time. When he did come back around the offensive side, the defensive stuff was so ingrained that was just a given. You become OG Anunoby the way that Jacoby is doing what he's doing right now. So let that man have a pass on scoring, Raptors Nation. Let Jacoby have a pass on that, because his role this year with this hierarchy and this talent level of what we got is he is a role player off the bench as a defensive pest who can be an offensive dynamo suddenly on certain nights. Yeah, he can get 11 points real quick off the bench for you real fast. But on most nights, the thing that he has to do first and foremost and every time is be that defensive pest and hustling and getting after it and playing with his teammates within the team defense and just being a shit disturber, going to get steals, going to get deflections, going to get rebounds. And if he's outside and he's open in the corner or up on the top of the 3, take that open 3 and nail it too. So, yeah, let's redefine things, because I know last year we saw Jacoby on a different level when he had his hair and he was a rookie. Then he could do way more because he had more time and we were in a different place as a team and what we were doing. with a record. We could be more experimental with this, but this is the change. This is the switch, Raptors fans. You can't have it all. You can't have all these players go crazy and all out. No, we have to make this fit for the winning ways. And in some ways, Grady and Jacoby have had to change their roles this year to fit the winning ways. And honestly, they're not complaining because you know what? Once again, would you rather be on a 500 or less team getting a lot of minutes, but you're losing all the time? Or would you rather win? And even if you're not playing as many minutes, you got to learn how to win in this league. And these young players are learning more now this year in some ways about winning than last year, even if they're playing less. So let Jacoby get what he's going to get. And in some ways, let him off the hook on his offense for now. All right. All you science lab motherfuckers with your microscopes, put them back in the closet. You don't need to get your microscope out and look at all these guys under the microscope and analyze their games. Let them be them. Once again, this is all that matters. This is all that matters right here. This is it. This is it. That's it. Jacoby, 22 minutes, 3 points, 1 of 2. He made 1 3, but he had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals once again, and he was a plus 20. Yeah, 3 steals. That's 2 games in a row where Jacoby's gotten 3 steals. So he's definitely making a defensive difference. And he's a catalyst in some ways for helping us off the bench. Another thing I really like about what Jacoby Walter offers us right now is he's a very annoying defender to put on a very top-level player on the other side. I mean, we used him against Donovan Mitchell this season. We used him against Maxey on Wednesday. You know, he's getting really tough assignments and running them around and kind of like that's good for him. In some ways, we need him to go mess people up and give them some OG-itis and just try and shut people down. You know what I'm saying? I might as well go through the rest of the guys on the box score since there's only a few. Jakob got light duty last night. I mean, when Sarr and Bagley out and just Vucevic out there, in some ways we didn't even need to play Yak last night. And in some ways I agree with them playing him sparingly and not playing him hardly at all in the second half. Just no point. Especially with the amount of games we've got coming up. You know, we got a back-to-back Sunday to Monday, and we're playing again on Wednesday. There's a lot of games jammed up in the next week. And in some ways, if you can keep Yak fresh and not have to play him on a game like this, you do that. In fact, I would say don't play him on Sunday. Don't play him on Sunday. Save him for Monday against the Cavs, and don't even worry about playing him against the Nets, Darko, is what I would say. Yak, 19 minutes, 3 points. He made 1 shot, and he made 1 free throw. He had 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 turnover, and 1 block. And it was a plus 9. He only played 19 minutes, so he wasn't out there that long. Jamison Battle and Garrett Temple got in at the end for garbage time at 4 minutes each. Battle got 2 points on 1 shot made, two rebounds and a turnover, a -3. And Garrett Temple, well, he was fun to watch at the end there. He was getting a lot of different stuff going on there. 4 points for him. He made a 3, and he made a free throw. A rebound, assist, and a turnover also for Garrett. Ochai Baji finally got back in the lineup. He was part of the rotation. He didn't just get in at a garbage time, and it's good to see. This is the thing that all these guys have to remember. If you get hurt and you're out for a while, you're not guaranteed that you get right back into the game. And in some ways, you got to wait your turn again for your number to be called. And when that happens, you got to jump on it and do really, really well. But it was nice to see Ochai back out there. He's part of our depth. He's definitely a very useful player. And you know what? When I want to see how we use him, and we need to continue to use him. So, yeah, good to see him back on the court last night. 16 minutes, 4 points for Ochai, 1 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 1 rebound for him, a +7. And then Grady Dick, 19 minutes. He's an honorable mention for the game last night. 6 points for him, 2 of 6 shooting. He missed both his threes, and he got a little upset in the first quarter when he was missing his shots. And Darko had to give him a pep talk and talk him up and kind of say, no, Grady is fine. You miss a couple shots. I'm not mad at you. Don't get too into your head thinking that, oh, no, I'm messing up and Darko's going to take me out. No pressure. Just do what you're going to do. That's basically what he said to him. I know this is what he said. And he's just keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. And forget about the misses. Just keep going is what he said to him probably. Grady 2 for 2 at the free throw line, which was awesome. It was right at the end of the game. And he made sure we got that 30-point margin for the point differential for the NBA Cup. Also had a rebound and assist, 2 turnovers and 2 steals for Grady, a +8. in the game, but just an overall solid team effort by the team in general. I really love the balance. You have 4 guys with 20-point games. 4 guys, Brandon, Scotty, RJ, and Sandro, all getting 20-point games. That's a beautiful, beautiful balance. And you see it on the court in the way that they're passing around everything. There was a couple of plays where I was like, wow, look at the way the Raptors pass. Look at this. That one play in particular where IQ relocated out to the outside 3 to catch that ball after he was one of the first initiating passes. That's really just smart stuff. And this is really kind of like something I knew about Darko when he became our coach, is one of the things he's really good about is coaching guys off the ball. You know, you can coach guys about how to play isolation or do sets with each other in 2-man sets or 3-man sets, but is another thing to really make guys aware of their placement and their movements off the ball with cutting and going to open spaces on the court. And one of the things our team is so good at, especially RJ Barrett, is looking for these cutting opportunities and also knowing how to rotate to open spaces so that when guys do get doubled up and crowded, they have a really good, easy, clear pass to somebody where they are, and we get an easy basket. So there's a lot of really intelligent off-ball moving into open spaces by people like Barrett and Pirtle and Quickly, and it's just masterful. And that's part of our success also, is not just the intelligence of the passes that Scott's doing or something like that. It's the intelligence of the off-ball movements and the placement of where guys are. And I have a big feeling that the guidance of the coaches is helping them with this too. So, yeah, it's a really, really good stuff. And high-level basketball and beautiful basketball even too. Beautiful basketball. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. All right, let's keep going. Trevor J saying New York Liberty have hired Golden State Warriors assistant coach to be their new coach. Yes, this is a sigh of relief for Raptors Nation because they're not hiring Jama. Yeah, Jama was one of the top 3 finalists for the New York Liberty job, and they're going to go ahead and take a assistant coach from Steve Kerr out in Golden State instead. This is fantastic. Honestly, I did not want Jama to go to that job because in some ways, once again, I'll say this, not that I think Darko's anywhere near in trouble with his job. In fact, he's looking more like a coach of the year more and more. The incumbent, just in case anything goes nuts or weird, I honestly is Mahalea. I think that dude will be the next coach if we do have any problems. In some ways, he's the one in waiting, just like Nick Nurse was under Casey. So that's the way I look at it. I don't want anybody to come steal Jama just in case, because he is in some ways our coach in waiting. And I don't want Darko to go anywhere anytime soon. If he can coach us like Popovich does, that's fantastic. But it's good to have the just in case. And the thing is, Jama's been around our franchise for so many years. He was on our championship team, and he has a ring. And he's a Canadian, and there's just a lot of like things about trusting your coach and stuff like that. When we had to fire Nick, we were in a lurch, and it took us 2 months to replace him to find Darko. And that was a very exhaustive search that took a lot of meticulous like thinking and like really, really smart decision by Masai and Bobby. And in some ways, it's kind of better to have the next guy in your ranks so that it's an easier transition than starting totally cold starting like we did when we hired Darko. We did have some holdovers in Eric Curry and Jim Sand, but for the most part, Darko was starting completely over as a coach with our team when he started coaching us. But this is the thing. If you do have to dismiss your coach, God forbid, I never ever want that to happen to Darko. You know, if you had the one in waiting, it's a really good strategy to have. So I'm very happy the Liberty did not hire Jama. Very, very happy about this. This is a big deal, guys. In some ways, we had to talk about this. Trevor's saying this, Darko, should we talk about it now? We'll be in the conversation with Coach of the Year. He's an early candidate already. And I mean, I called this. I've been calling this like in the middle of summer because nobody expects us to do jack shit. They think the Raptors are a joke. They think that we should just be a bottom feeder all the time. So when we do well, our coach always does get a lot of favor. And that's part of the reason why we have 3 coaches of the year, is because nobody expects anything from us. So in some ways, when we are super successful, they're like, wow, he did that with Toronto. He must be a coach of the year. You know, it's kind of like that effect. So in some ways, it's a weird kind of negative thing, but it's also a positive thing. So let's just work the positive side of it. So yeah, we are way better than you think because you ignore us. And yeah, our coach is really awesome and did something amazing with our team. So yeah, go ahead and consider him for coach of the year, even if it's kind of a weird reason why. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing, and he should be coach of the year this year. I think that we're going to be steady this whole year through, and we're going to kick so much ass. It will be undeniable that Coach Darko Rajakovic is the NBA coach of the year for this year. I'm telling you right now, we got a lot of time and a lot of work to do still, but we will earn this. Watch, we will. Nako's here. Good to see Gerald. Please re-sign Mamu because there's no way he's taking that player option. Mamu also seems like a genuinely good dude. How do you know? You don't know, Gerald. You don't know, man. Mamu may be like, all right, this is. We'll do a little reenactment real quick. Hey, hello, Mamu. It's Bobby. Hey, Mamu. How are you doing, man? I just wanted to say you've worked out so well for us, man. Yeah. We worked out this deal with you last summer. Are you still willing to honor the deal that we said? Like, if you like playing for us, you're going to take your player option? Yeah. Are you going to try and test the market? Oh, really? Oh, well, that's fantastic. Okay, thank you. Bye. What did he say? Oh, he said he's just going to take his player option because he doesn't want to rock the boat. And I already talked to him about how this is the money I have allocated so that I can make everything fit so that our team will continue to be successful. You got to understand, Gerald. Look, he may go up in value and may be more of a free, and I may be completely wrong. But once again, I said this about Sandro earlier. It's like he found a place, a home, a place where he can be himself. He's with a coach that says, be yourself. You don't have to be a center. Be whatever you want. You want to handle the ball. You want to run up and down the court and lay it up. You want to shoot threes. In some ways, it's like, what matters to Sandro? What matters to him? Being greedy? I don't know. He doesn't really come across to me like he's just a money greedy guy, because this is where people get in trouble in the NBA. You may be greedy and you want to go get that money, but then all of a sudden you waste your life like Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, seriously. In some ways, it's like money isn't all everything. And in some ways, Sandro may be like, you know what? I'm making a ton of money already. I don't want to fuck this up. I want to stay here right now. Bobby, yeah, we'll just go with what I agreed on the player option. Even if I could test the free agency markets next year and make more money, I don't know. We don't know, Gerald. Don't just speculate that people are greedy and they got to opt out and do that, especially if they already have a handshake agreement with the GM of the Raptors in some ways on the down low, and that they've already kind of got it figured out. Who knows? Maybe he will rescind it and he'll say, but this is way too early. Why the fuck are you talking about this? This is off-season shit. We need to talk about the games and the play, not the contracts. And once again, man, I don't know why people want to bring up trades and contracts all the fucking time. Seriously. You don't know what he's going to do. He could easily just opt into his player option because he don't want to rock the boat and he has things good in Toronto. So you don't know. You don't know his personality. Maybe his value system and what he cares about isn't exactly the same as what you think it is what I'm saying. And he doesn't need to be re-signed if he just takes his player option. Once again, why the fuck are we talking about contracts, Gerald? Seriously, man. Seriously. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, congrats on the birthday. Oh, yeah, that was on the 12th or something. It was like 10 days ago. It's like I didn't even pay attention to it. It was like November 12th. I was like 4 days later, I realized, oh, shit, I had my 15th birthday in AA. I mean, it's not even really a birthday. It's just a sobriety day. I don't know. But, yeah, 15 years, man. I should probably go to a room and get my chip. I'm just like, it's just all symbolic anyway. It's just symbolic. All right, let's see. Fiercey's here. Good to see MJ. Good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. Great dub. Great team effort. Everyone playing together and supporting each other. Just amazing vibes. Yeah. Yeah, and it's such a collection of personalities and different kind of dudes that it's kind of fun. The difference is in all them, it makes them even more eclectic and kind of interesting, because they are very different guys in all kinds of different ways. I mean, you can think about Garrett Temple being a sore thumb in there, being like the oldest guy just in the middle, but he's one of the bunch. He's totally in on it. In fact, he's like a ringleader of vibes with his conga line and his advice and just being the unk. And, you think about a nerdy guy like the specialist, Jameson Battle, who's just a really brilliant person and just a weird guy just coming out of nowhere as an undrafted guy. And then you got people like Brandon. You got Oshai, who's got his new family that he's starting with Avery and the baby. There's just a very interesting kind of mix of personalities, different kind of people. They're very different. Jakob is very different than a lot of the Raptors, but in some ways, there's a very, very strong commonality and an all for one for all, win for all. And it's a very cool thing to see. It's a lot of fun to see. Nago saying this team has 2020 Raptors vibes with everyone being so chummy. I mean, this is what you want in the NBA. This is ideal. And Darko is a catalyst for this. Darko is a kind of coach that can create these kind of environments. He did it in Memphis too. He's done it in other places. But, this is his own baby, which is interesting because doing it in Memphis, he was under Taylor Jenkins. And in some ways, he was the head coach, but Darko in some ways was taking care of vibes. Well, this is his own show. So it's even more special because he's the head coach here. And it really is like he said in interviews in the summer, this is different than any other collection and energy that I've ever been around on a team. This is the most together, amazing vibes team ever. And I believe him. I mean, we're seeing it more and more. They're just increasing the vibrations, the power of the vibrations. That's right. Fiercely saying this, do we know what's the status on BI? He was really frustrated when he landed awkwardly on his ankle. Hope he's okay. Well, if you heard me, what I said earlier is the other ankle than the one he injured last year. So it's not the ankle that he was out for, just so you all know. I hope that makes y'all feel better. He was able to finish the game. He kept playing, right? Or did he? No, he came out of the game after that, and he didn't come back in. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll have to check the blue skies and see if Blake Murphy or somebody else is talking about it. And then we'll just have to see if he is around the injury report for tomorrow and Monday. Like I said, it's a back-to-back at home. He's not going to try and miss any games because he does want to play as many games as possible. But if he does have to miss a game, he should miss the game tomorrow and play on Monday against the Cavs. Yeah, that just seems like that's the smart thing to do, considering it's the Nets or the Cavs, right? Yeah, so let's keep going. I don't know his status for sure, but just so you know, it wasn't the ankle he hurt that he rolled last night. Let's see. Fiercely saying this. Garrett Temple is the glue and motivator guy. I can sense it. His energy and presence on the team are crucial and very influential. Well, it's just good to have a guy who has confidence and knows the NBA so well after 17 years of being in it. In some ways, he really, if these guys completely respect him and listen to him, he can really help keep them in line in different places in different ways, whether it's like going from the hotel or the arena or on the plane or on the bus or wherever they are. In some ways, like the coaches aren't always with all the players, but Garrett is often with all the players. And in some ways, he can be that quality control for good vibes and good things happening within the players circle out without the coaches involved. And that's very useful. Some people will be like, why is Garrett on this team still? Why do we need him? Yeah, we need him because he's been fantastic. And if he is transitioning to become a coach on our team, that'd be fantastic too. I mean, I'd be all about that. There's more signs of that being possible since he scouted the game the other day and he's interested in coaching, I guess. So that's cool. If he's going to hang around with the Raptors for a long, long time, I'd be very, very happy. And it seems like he does have a very good relationship working with Darko and his coaches as far as what his place is on the team with what he does. So yeah, it's been awesome. And it's no joke that he's been here since Darko's been here. It's been a very smooth baseline of stuff with him, along with all the coaches staying exactly the same since Darko came here too. So yeah, Nameless saying Darko Rajakovic, Coach of the Year 2025. Let's say it 3 times. Speak it into existence. Darko Rajakovic, Coach of the NBA Year 2025. Darko Rajakovic, Coach of the Year, NBA 2025. Yeah, there you go. And all the fire Darko talks of went silent. Crickets. Yeah, I just never, you got to let people have time to take off and get what they get. And this is actually the same kind of thing that happened with Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey had almost identical winning records his first 2 seasons as Darko, and then in his 3rd year, he took off. It's the same pattern. At the beginning of the 2010s, when we hired Case, Case had a very bad season the first year, and then another bad season. But that 3rd year with Kyle and DeMar, woo-wee, it was off to the races and Atlantic Division championships for the Raptors and the excellence that we built up to get to the 2019 championship. Now, it took a couple of years for us to get that championship in 2019, but for some reason, I feel like we're advanced. And we might not need that much a run up to get to the championship again for a second one. In fact, I have a weird scenario that I pictured last night where the Raptors could win the championship this year. This year. Yeah. I'm going to up the ante. All right. Because this is how I do it. It's like I'll go overly positive for the Raptors. And since we have this level of success at this point and what we're looking like, all right, Lex is going to shoot for the moon again. What if the NBA gets this storyline this year? Ooh-wee, Oklahoma City Thunder, of course. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort. They're going to be in the finals again. Watch, probably, right? The Thunder could win 70 games this year. Wouldn't it be amazing for ratings and everything, storylines, if the Raptors were in the finals against the Thunder this year? Just imagine that whole thing. Shai versus his hometown, the team he rooted for when he was a kid. This shit could happen. And honestly, this could be one of the most amazing kind of storylines for the NBA for the season around Gilgeous-Alexander if he has to face his hometown team, the Raptors, in the finals. It could happen, guys. I'm telling you right now, the Eastern Conference is weak as – and if Cleveland is one of the top teams and we've handled them twice already in their arena and we're going to handle them again on Monday, why can't we go to the finals this year? Why we have to waste time? Maybe we're all manifest generators and we can take it in quick and process and go fast. We're just advanced. We're AP class. We're PhD. And we're going quick and we ain't wasting our lives. If the East is wide open and all messed up like it is right now, why not? Why not? People would say, you're crazy, Lex. You think we're going to go to the finals? Why not? Who the fuck is that much better than us in the East? Who's going to stop us? And if we have Brandon Ingram and he's doing Kawhi level shit by that time, and we have Scotty doing all the glue stuff, and we have RJ, we have all what we're doing, why not? The NBA would love that storyline, don't you think? Gilgeous-Alexander versus Toronto. Woo-wee! I'm telling you, I got a vision. I had a flash last night. I was like, man, that would be a badass finals matchup. And don't think that we aren't good enough to get there, is what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying right now. That's right. Nameless is saying this. People thought Darko was strictly a development coach and was questioned if he actually knows how to win. Well, I think that it's actually kind of amazing. In some ways, I make an argument that Darko's a better winning and tactician coach than Nick Nurse. Yeah. Well, let's think about the years with Nick Nurse. You know, we had some very good teams with Nick Nurse, but there were often times where he would lose to shitty teams that we had no business losing to, like a letdown all of a sudden. Like, seriously, how many of these games recently have been against bad teams? And how many of them have we fumbled under Darko? Not a damn one. We have beaten every single bad team we played this year. And in the past, when Nick Nurse had a good team, he would sometimes butt up against a team like the Nets and lose one all of a sudden inexplicably in a weird way. I'm like, why the fuck did we just lose to the Nets? And Lex is doing his reaction stream, like kind of going off on Nick Nurse or doing this or that. I'm telling you, in some ways, what Nameless just said, you could say is like, in some ways, he's a better winning coach than Nick, because Darko's winning. He's taking care of all those easy games. Don't mess around. No lackadaisicalness. No. Hungry, humble, and coming to get the next game on the list. Not looking ahead. Who's next? Brooklyn. Okay, Goldberg. Get in there. Dun, 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 dun. Who's next? You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn's next. And it's like, this is the thing. I can see this in some ways. It's like the old Raptors team, even with Casey or Nick, we would fumble games that we didn't need to fumble. And so far, Darko has not. I'm sure he will at some point this year. We'll fumble a game against a shitty team and lose to a team we shouldn't have lost to at some point. But I'm also loving how we're going up against the teams that are really badass that we're not supposed to totally beat this year, like Cleveland and Milwaukee and stuff like that. More tests to come. And yeah, I feel real good about this. And you're right, Nameless. It's like I was hoping this would be true. Masai and Bobby touted Darko this way when they hired him. So we think we have a coach that's good for us in this period of time right now and also good for later. And this is the good for later time now. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying this. Brooklyn Nets beat the Celtics last night in the NBA Cup. That's why Chris is in his feelings, man. It's like he jumped trains. He thought he was getting on a better train all of a sudden. He's like, I have higher aspirations. No, we wanted you to be on this team. The fans did, but in some ways it just wasn't to happen. It's not that he had higher aspirations, but he did go to Boston. But now we're winning and Boston's not. It's like it flipped. I feel bad for Chris on that, man. But yeah, kudos to the Nets. They're going to be coming to see us on Sunday off of a win on Friday night. And in some ways, that's good. Maybe they'll be a little bit resting on their laurels. In some ways, I feel bad for Jordy because Jordy, we love Jordy. Coach Jordy did a good job coaching Team Canada. And, I want him to get some success because I don't want him to get fired. If you ask me, if somebody needs to get fired in Brooklyn next, it's Sean Marks. That motherfucker's been running that team for so long, and he outlived the whole big three debacle that he did with Durant, Irving, and Harden. That dude needs to be fired next. No disrespect, former Raptor Sean Marks, but you've been living on 9 lives as a cat in Brooklyn in the Nets. And honestly, you deserve to get fired before Jordy Fernandez, is what I'm going to say right now. So if anybody's getting fired over there, Josiah, you fire your GM because that man has had so many chances, so many freaking chances. And at some point, you just got to say it's him. It's him. Seriously. G saying this, NBA IG posted tons of Raptor stuff on their IG last night. ESPN can learn something. Yeah, they are haters, man. They are such haters that they didn't even want to do any coverage of the NBA Cup last night because the Raptors were the big story in the NBA Cup last night. Yeah, they are haters. I like to see that the NBA is capitalizing on the Raptors and Brandon Ingram and the phenomenon that we've got right now. That's what they should be doing. They would be showing a real bias if they were ignoring one of the top 2 Eastern Conference teams right now. They'd be showing a real bias if they didn't want to talk about that. They would be, indeed. Yes, they would. Let's keep going in the chat here. Kuabi F baby, Kuabi F baby. Facts. ESPN is ran by chumps. Do your job and cover the entire NBA. That's right. Just because we're up here in Canada doesn't mean we don't look at ESPN.com. The internet is global, dumbasses down there. And in some ways, if y'all want to slight us, if it's some sort of like perception war, if it's some sort of like whatever, you know what? In some ways, it's not that we need this. It's just that, like, yeah, we get it. You're disrespecting us. You're overlooking us. You're overshadowing us. You don't want to put a light on what we're doing. That's fine. That's fine. Because in some ways, there's 2 worlds. There's your perception world of bullshit, and there's the real world that RJ lives in. And the real world, he goes and gets baskets regardless of whether the referee calls a whistle. And the Raptors goes get W's, regardless of whether you want to cover it on your website. So you go ahead and be in your little perception world and trying to shape the perception. The reality will be happening out here on the court. And it doesn't matter what you say because the win column and the standings will stay what matters. That's what I say to that right there. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the sub, baby. I'll call you baby. I don't know if I should call you baby, but I'll just say, see you bye fi baby. I think that's what that name is, but it's cool, man. It's cool. G saying open gym, words of wisdom from T-Mac was just posted in the Raptors Instagram. Cool, man. Cool. We found out in the interview last night with Sandro that Darko does a quote at the beginning of every session that they do in the morning, like an inspirational, motivational quote. He, maybe it's like our words of wisdom with Trevor J. I wonder what he does do. Does he come in and say something like Trevor said today? Like, does he say, life has taught us we are not always in control of life, full of experiences? Listen, maybe this was like a quote that Darko gives at practice. He does his own little words of wisdom. And he said, Sandro said it motivates them. It's like a motivation speech. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's been saying to them, but it's working. So keep doing it is what I'll say. But, yeah, Open Gym has promised that they will put out a new episode every Saturday going forward for the rest of the season. And in some ways, they may come out with a old episode centered around Danny Green. The episode that they did on Brandon Ingram this season already on his comeback from his injury was fantastic. Really, really cool to see. Yeah, Open Gym is awesome. I'll have to check out that episode after the show and see what's up with that. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, let's see. Reggie's saying this. ESPN has never reported on the Raptors, man. Who cares? Yeah, but this is kind of important, right? This is the NBA Cup. This is kind of like a thing. And they literally omitted anything of saying anything about the game last night and us advancing. Like the average ESPN person comes to the NBA Cup section on their website, they wouldn't know that the Raptors have advanced to the quarterfinal because they can't even admit that that's happened. That's how petty ESPN is. It's just like they can't even admit it. There's nothing on there that says that the Raptors have advanced and they're only team that has advanced in the NBA Cup. Nobody else did. So they're just not even reporting it. That's how petty they are, Reggie. In some ways, I don't care, but in some ways, I'm like, yeah, this is how they are. I mean, there's another petty example of ESPN on here also. They have another article that came out, and it's saying first month lessons, 30 lessons from all the 30 teams. And the one for Toronto is really kind of goofy, man. Is waste lesson for after 1 month of watching the Raptors. Depth can create wins. That's what they're saying. They're saying that we're only winning because we have depth and everybody else is hurt right now. That's kind of slanderous in some ways. That's not totally true right now. You guys can go ahead. Oh, it's because we have depth that we're winning. That's what Chandler Parsons said. We don't have depth. What is it? You guys can't get your shit straight. Do we have depth or we don't? Come on now. Yeah, it's crazy, man. This is what they wrote about us. They said, what I'm hearing between moving on from longtime lead executive Messiah, you got to go ahead and put that in every time. This being Coach Rajakovic's third season, the Brandon Ingram trade and extension in February, and new ownership taking over next year. They took over this year, you idiot. The belief around the league entering this season was that the Raptors needed to make progress. Early on, Toronto has delivered in large part by having a mostly healthy rotation of players for Rajakovic. This is all true. We have delivered, and we have been mostly healthy. The team's top four players, Ingram, Barnes, Quickly, and Barrett, have all played in all 15 games, and their other 10 players have missed only a handful of games combined. In a league where there's been an epidemic of injuries early, just starting with the same group daily is enough to give teams a leg up. This is such bullshit, saying that they don't want to say that we're actually a good team. They're saying that we're doing well because we're not injured. The 10-5 Raptors have taken full advantage of it, moving up to second in the muddled East. Yeah, any way that they can poo-poo or water down or say muddled or whatever they want to say about that bullshit. It is what it is. Good to see Rob back in the chat, man. What are you saying today, Stillman? On NBA radio, they only show to acknowledge and show respect to the Raps are Ernie Johnson and Justin Termine. Ernie actually said convincingly that we are a real good team. Ernie Johnson's a smart guy. And he's always been a great broadcaster. I appreciate you, Ernie Johnson. Well, it's fine. Continue to sleep on us. We will sneak up on people, and that's fine. We're going to kick everybody's ass, and you will have to – the more we do this for the whole season, the less they'll be able to ignore us, guys. So keep it up, Darko and the team. They will not be able to ignore you, Scotty, at some point, and you will be in the consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. You will be an all-star, and you will be considered for all NBA also, is what I'm saying for Scotty right there. Koloko got waived by the Lakers. Shamshe, I hope you see what just happened to your friend Christian. I hope you see this. I hope you don't take Rich Paul's offer. I hope you just stay with the Raptors and Bobby, because understand that was the fatal flaw for your friend Christian Koloko. Fool's gold. Go play with the great LeBron James and get your own personal development all screwed up, and then boom, you're waived. Wow. Crazy. I called all this shit like 2 years ago when this happened. I said when Koloko went out and I knew he had Rich Paul and I knew that the Lakers needed a center. I called that he would be a Laker a year before he was a Laker. And then I called he'll go there and they'll fumble the ball in his development and he will not work out there, partly because he turned his back on the Raptors and what we were doing with him here. Now it's come true. Once again, something I said like 2 years ago has come full fruition right now. That's sad, man. I feel bad for Christian. Who knows? I don't know. We have an open roster spot. Bobby, I don't know. He kind of turned his back on us when he didn't need to. He could have came back then. I don't know, Bobby. Do we really want Christian? Is he the backup center? I don't know. Been there, done that. We don't want the Lakers scraps, do we? No, we don't. We don't. James is saying this. Raptors were 22nd in offensive rating last year. They are number 5 this year. Ingram effect. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love being a capable offensive team. I love shooting over 50%. I love easily scoring over 120 a game. Oh, I love all that. I love feeling like we have power offensively so that if we do get in a crazy shootout with like the Warriors or the Heat or some team like that, we can actually match firepower this year. In other years, if the other teams were getting hot and going crazy with 3-point barrages and just massive point explosions, the Raptors could get left in the dust because they just don't score well enough or easy enough or have it like that. Well, we have it like that this year. So in some ways, I don't have the same fears of a scoring contest like against some of the top offensive teams in this league as I did in years past. Because an Ingram effect, for sure, man. Big time, James. Big time. Fiercely saying this. IQ is also a great rebounder. That's right. IQ is one of the best rebounding guards in the league on the down low. People don't give him any respect for that. They don't. They should. Trevor's saying this. RJ joins the Association on NBA League Pass for an interview last night. Oh, cool. That's good. Well, I'm glad they're talking to him because honestly, we don't want our guy from Mississauga to get overlooked. In some ways, he's being a very benevolent, egoless person in the middle of all this. And in some ways, he's thriving and loving it. And everybody appreciates everybody making the personal sacrifices for the team whole on this team, no matter who it is, whether it's Ingram, Barnes, Quickly, Barrett, Mamu, Jakob, Grady, Jacoby, Jamal, Oshai, all these guys. They're all making sacrifices in different ways. Jonathan Mobo. And, it's helping the team. And in some ways, the personal sacrifices add up. And the other thing that I love is coming true, like I said it would, is nobody wants to give us credit for personal development and add-ups on each individual player of the Raptors. That there's a cumulative aggregate of additional strength and success in our team because each one of our players goes in the summer and gets better. And that nobody ever counts that into the possibility for the Raptors to be better because, well, they have a lot of young players that are really committed and they have good guidance and they have good development and they're just getting better all as a whole. And that will bump you up and make you win more by itself also. You add in Ingram, sure, that's a big needle pusher. But on the down low also, we have a lot of players that are developing and getting better each individually. RJ Barrett came back stronger than ever. Is a different player. Alvin's saying he's moving differently. Emmanuel did amazing work this summer to get better. We know Scotty's improving right in front of us. So that's another part of what we just don't talk about is we've all been improving as individuals on our team in their own ways. And that adds up to a cumulative that helps us be better too. So I love that. G saying this, Ingram saw the vision. He wanted to come to Toronto even before the success. We have a reputation, and that's why it's important what Masai built. You can look at the team we played last night. They have a reputation too. Whose reputation would you rather have? Washington Wizards or Toronto Raptors? That's what I'm saying. People know that we have a track record now. I mean, it's easy to see. It's around the league. Who's the number one player in Miami right now? Who is the captain of the Houston Rockets? Who is one of the most beloved Knickerbockers right now? Who is the franchise player and the best player in Indiana? These are all projects that we built up here and went on to do great things as they were champions here. They went on and they've done even more and gone even above and beyond. How many of those guys are all-stars? Seriously. And Norman's going to be one this year. So it's going to add another all-star from that amazing 2019 championship team. How many of our guys on that team ended up being all-stars, guys? Really think about it. Like out of all the guys, I mean, Siakam, Lowry, Kawhi, Mark Gasol was an all-star. Serge Ibaka was an all-star. Fred VanVleet's an all-star. Pascal's an all-star. I mean, OG's probably going to become an all-star at some point, just the way they glaze the Knicks. It's like, yeah. It's like 8 or 9 all-stars by the end of their careers. Some of them from before, like Mark and Serge, and Kawhi. But then you got all these guys after the championship that grew and matured even further. The young guys who were on that team that went and got all-stars too. Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell. That's pretty amazing. That's a track record. And guys on our team, or people think about coming here like Chucky Hepburn or Jamison Battle, unsigned, undrafted people. They see the track record with Fred VanVleet and Norman Powell and OG Anunoby. Yeah, it's way more attractive to come here. And Ingram knew it too. And I'm sure Ingram, with his injury concerns, saw how we managed Kawhi the one year he was here. And he's like, yeah, they'll know how to take care of me injury-wise and I'll be all right. They'll get the best out of me. Yeah. Dr. Alex is a good friend. to Brandon Ingram. That's right. That's right. Race Mode's here. Good to see Race Mode. Awesome to see Edmund when he comes in and sees us. Thanks for supporting the channel, Edmund. I hope you and the boys are doing great. And just life is fantastic for you, man. Congratulations on 15 years, Lex. Get your chip. It will inspire the room. Yeah, I don't even have a homeroom, though. Like, I don't have a home group. I've been kind of just a on my own kind of guy, working my program by myself. And I have people that I talk to on the phone, but I don't actually have a room that I go to regularly. I should maybe do that. I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes I feel like getting involved in the rooms can be treacherous also, because, early sobriety and different people can be dangerous to be around sometimes, just in case they're kind of like not healthy or toxic people. It's like, ooh, so I'm wary of it. But in some ways, you're probably right. I do need to get a home group where I'm near and start going to meetings again. You're probably right. Yeah. But I appreciate that, Race Mode. Thank you. And yeah, I guess it is an accomplishment. In some ways, it's like I don't even think about it in some ways. And that's why the anniversary passes. And I'm like, holy shit, I haven't had a drop of alcohol since November of 2010. Changed my life. And it's crazy too, because I see peers of mine that are around my age in Tallahassee that have died in the last 2 years that didn't get away from alcohol. They were bar people. And there's another one that just passed in like the last 2 weeks that was a bar manager. And, I feel bad because I know in some ways, if they really looked at linkages and their health outcomes, that the alcohol was a huge factor. And it's crazy. Like I said, in the last 2 years, I've had 2 male friends and 2 female friends that were very much in the bar scene heavy that have all died in their late 40s before they even made the age 50. That sucks. It can really end your life prematurely if you're not getting help for your alcohol, guys. It will destroy your body. Just trust me on this. And if I had not gotten help and switched at that point at 35, I may be one of the statistics like one of my friends that I just talked about. So I'm very grateful that I found strength and sobriety and continue to go through with it. That's right. Yeah. Wayne's saying this: morning, Raptor Freaks. Respect for your fellow teammates in special. And we have it. Yeah. Raptors are like bears. We're eating food and preparing for future inventory survival needs. It's a long season. Yeah. In some ways, if we're doing very well, in some ways we can like do smart things like not play Jakob as much last night or hold out people to be safe, or strategies with the 905 and the Raptors and send in 2 ways and Jonathan Mobo different ways and stuff like that. Yeah. In some ways, we want to game this to every advantage, Bobby Webster, Darko Rajakovic, and in the honor and the spirit of Masai Ujiri. Is like, let's figure out where we can utilize things even better. And, if we can store up things or make things stretched out in certain ways, that'd be awesome. Maybe there's a period of time in the season where we're doing really well and we can lay off and load manage some of our main stars a little bit more and play a little bit more of Grady Dick and Oshai Abaji, things like that. We're going to just have to see how we do it, man. But Wayne, great to see you. And isn't it nice to win, man? It's so nice to win. DLBIB 911, man. It's Denial. Oh, wow. Long time since I've been here. Hola. This is Denial, man. This team is fun to watch. Good to see Raptor Freak Denial return to the stream this morning. You guys, I love you guys. If you guys go away for a while because we're not winning or different things are going on, I'm just so happy when people come back and say hey again. So good to see you, Denial. I hope you've been doing very well. And yeah, this team is very fun to watch. And you know what? Being 15-1 this month with both the teams has just been absolutely a joy. This has been one of the most successful months in the history of the Toronto Raptors franchise right now. Seriously, because we have only lost once this month between the 2 teams. Just 1 loss. 15 wins, 1 loss. That is badass. Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. And what's up, Denial? Good to see Kaz in this chat. The trucker Kaz, always great to have him around. Let me go look at the box score a little bit more on the other side. Let's give some kudos to some of the Wizards real quick. CJ McCollum got into it with RJ for a second there. Did y'all see them, John? First of all, I'm going to say this. CJ McCollum's been disrespectful to the country of Canada and the Toronto Raptors many, many times. When he was the president of the Players Association, I didn't trust him. I didn't like that he was in charge because I knew he's somewhat xenophobic towards Canada. He's an asshole. He's a jackass. He has some of the dumbest views about Canada. And in some ways, he's part of that apparatus that looks down on the Raptors just for being the Canadian team. So I love RJ, our hometown hero, getting in his face and talking trash. And CJ talked trash back to him. And there was a little bit of like, yeah, there's no love there, guys. And I love it because RJ kind of took over the game after that and scored 2 consecutive baskets after that. He did a power move on him into the basket in the lane, and then he made a 3 also. So, yeah, last laugh, CJ. And I'm glad Fred's in charge now instead of you. I never trusted you as the president. And in fact, you screwed up the middle class of the NBA with their pay, with your stupid agreements with the collective bargaining agreement. So Fred VanVleet's got to come in there and clean up your mess as the next president of the Players Association. So yeah, CJ, don't bow up this RJ like that. Even if you're older than RJ over CJ is what I'm saying right here. Yeah, don't bow up to him like that. I don't like seeing that. Off the bench, Cam Whitmore is crazy. That dude is all out. You know, he did an interview with Grady Dick when they were rookies. Grady was doing these rookie interviews, and Cam Whitmore was kind of in there, and he was all like cocky and stuff like that. And in some ways, he kind of shaded Grady a little bit in that interview. But Grady was shading Cam last night. And I think Cam Whitmore got really frustrated because his team was getting their ass kicked. And Grady Dick was out there making layups and doing all this other stuff in some ways. So good job, Grady and the Raptors. Justin Champagny was fun to watch last night. In some ways, look, it's crazy. You see Koloko getting waived. You see David Johnson's in Tasmania. You see that, Javon Freeman, Liberties in Australia. These guys are all gone, but Justin's stuck. And kudos to him for being a full-fledged NBA player at this point, not a two-way, not in the G League, a full-fledged Wizard. But in some ways, it's partly because it is the Wizards, and they're going to just need people. And in some ways, Justin, you're in the NBA, but you are on the Wizards. But, congratulations for still having an NBA career at this point. Your brother is flourishing in San Antonio as a starter next to the Spurs and all that, man. Julian's been doing badass. But yeah, kudos to Justin for still having an NBA career. Let's just say it that way right there. Yeah. Corey Kispert. Last night, Kareem Thomas was saying Corey Kispert looks like George Michael. I don't know, kind of. He did kind of look like the singer George Michael. Bub Carrington, very reckless play. The rookie Trey Johnson came out there and was bombing a bit out there. He had a good game and a good showing in his first game against us. So good to see Bilal back from injury. And the Canadian Keyshawn George had a tough game. A lot of it was because he was getting guarded up by Scott and people like that. So our Canadian Keyshawn did not have the best of the games. So a little checking on them on the other side. Let's go look at the team stats real quick. Raptors really, really outplayed them by a lot. The Wizards got 3 more shots than us, but we made 9 more shots than them. So we shot 58% from the field as a team last night. Woo-wee! You got to love that. Man, the Raptors struggled so bad to just shoot 45% for many years, shooting 58% for the whole 48 minutes and all the players. Yeah, our offense is way better now. Way, way better. Yeah, our three-pointers, we were 50% with the threes, shooting 14 and 28. Free throws, that we did get way more free throws than them. There was a lot of respect from the refs and getting us the line. And, we were initiating the contact, so we deserved it, especially Brandon. So, yeah, 30 of 39 at the line. So we did miss 9 free throws, but no big deal. We doubled them up almost on rebounds. 48 to 29 is the rebound count. So very good job there with almost 20 more rebounds. The assist-to-turnover ratio is sublime once again, guys. Wow. Their assist-to-turnover ratio is 26 assists to 18 turnovers. Ours was 36 assists to 15 turnovers. So a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Once again, that is a huge stat that symbolizes why we're so good. It's because we don't turn the ball over too much and we get a massive amount of assists. And these guys are finding each other. And once again, there's a lot of different guys going every which way, getting assists every which way. So many different guys getting assists. Yeah, the points in the paint were dominant for the Raptors also, 60 to 44. Yeah, just good stats there. In some ways, the game against Philly, we won even though we lost a lot of key stats. So I'm telling you, man, there's a winning formula to what Darko's doing. It has to do with the rotations and the adjustments at halftime is part of it right there. It's a big part of it right there. Let's keep going. Wayne's saying this: I can buy your final theory after seeing how we handle two teams, Knicks and Pistons. Conference finals very achievable. Just need to see us against those two, and I'm with you. There you go. Wayne said I'm not crazy for possibly saying the Raptors could get the finals this year. I'm not crazy for that. Now, beating the Thunder, that's a whole other story too. But even then, I'm like, look, let's just see how we grow over the season and see where we're at, and we'll gauge it each couple weeks, and we'll see. Yeah, well, I want to see us against the Knicks at the end of the month. I want to see us against the Pistons. Oh yeah, and the great thing now is because we're the first team into the semifinals for the NBA Cup, we're going to have a home advantage game in the knockout round. And that means if we win that game at home, whichever team we're playing, we will go to Vegas. So in some ways, the Indiana game on Wednesday doesn't matter at this point, although we need to play it and have a good point differential, and we should win. And then we'll get a game, and this game won't even be played immediately. We're going to have to wait like a couple weeks before we'll play the knockout game on the NBA Cup floor again, the red floor we played on last night. And it'll be around, Josh Lindbergh said that game will be on the 9th or the 10th of December. So we'll play the Indiana game on Wednesday, finish the group round play, and then we'll have to wait and we'll have to see how they go about who seeds what and who we're going to play in that 9th or 10th knockout game. But it will be on our home court. We will have home court advantage, and we will be playing a home game in that knockout game to get to Vegas. Just a little information. And that game will be on the 9th through the 10th of December, just so you know. That's what Josh Lindbergh said. Let's keep going. Let's see. Kaz is saying, I hope Darko becomes our version of Pop or Spoelstra. Yeah, me too. That's ideal. You don't want a lot of change. I mean, if you have a Pop or a Spoelstra, you have a very steady culture in your team, and that's what you want. You want that culture to build. That's what Heat culture is. That's why the Spurs didn't miss the playoffs for like 2 or 3 decades. It's crazy. So, yeah, you want to definitely mimic that kind of success. And you want a success that kind of continues and sustains. And those are the two best models in some ways of excellence and kind of stability with coaching and the energy. And if we can get this duplicated here, that'd be awesome. I wanted Nick to be that, but Nick had aspirations to go work for Daryl Morey, and that's just how it went. That's just how it went. Yeah. Let's see. Kaz is saying, also, I noticed the Wizards head coach, Brian O'Keefe, looks kind of homeless, low key. Oh, man, that's rough. His hair is a little wild. I will say this. I think that the air in the Scotiabank Arena last night was a little weird for some people's hair to look a little bit like weird from showers. I noticed that even Jakob had a little bit of a weird poof on his hair when he was taking free throws. And I think Brian Keefe was just part of that too. I mean, his hair is a little in disarray. I mean, look, man, that guy's got so much to worry about right now. Maybe personal grooming and different things like that are very low on his priority list. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I feel for that guy in some ways. I really do, man. Denal saying, what's up to Kaz? Love to see it. Smooth saying this. Brooklyn front office already said this is a rebuild year. Fernandez should not be fired. They're wanting a top 4 pick. Yeah, but the thing is, there's a difference between this year and last year with the Nets. Last year, Jordy was able to get some gumption out of them, and they were showing progress. Right now, the intel coming out from the locker room in the Nets is that these guys are not bought in, and they're not listening to him correctly, and that's part of the problem right now. Last year, he had them bought in, and they were trying their ass off, but some of them are giving up right now. And in some of the murmurs is what's happening is that they're worried that Fernandez has lost the team and that he cannot get what he wants out of them at this point like he could last year in the progress. So as much as you're saying I agree with, you're right, he should be free of this, but we all know for some reason the sword falls on the neck of the coach in the Nets land, but not on the GM. So I would say this, if they're going to have to fire anybody this year in Brooklyn, it needs to be Sean Marks. His time has come. That man has had so many chances as the GM on that team, and he's had so many additions of that team. How the hell has he survived this long, honestly? No disrespect to the New Zealand guy, the former Raptor. But Jordy deserves more of a chance past Sean Marks than Sean Marks deserves a chance to continue to run that team. That's just how I feel about it. Fiercely saying, imagine the vibes had Masai still been there. Thank you, Masai. It doesn't matter. He's still with us. Masai ain't got nowhere. Masai is in all of us. just like the great creator out there. It's not the same thing, but in some ways, Masai spirit lives on through all of us all the time. He's touched Raptors culture and the team to the point that he will never go away. Seriously, that's just how it is. Yeah, he was there. He's there, and the smiles in our faces, and he was probably watching it too, and he probably got very immense enjoyment from what the Raptors are doing right now. I'd be love to be in a room with Masai right now and talk to him about the Raptors and what he's seeing, because in some ways, people are coming around in social media spaces and giving him a lot of credit for what's happening right now, even though he's not actually working for us anymore. There's a lot of people saying, man, Masai built this team right with Bobby. And that's true. He did. And in some ways, once again, I'll remind people, Masai Ujiri still talks to Bobby Webster, guys. He still talks to Bobby Webster. Whether they talk about basketball or not, well, I don't know. But he's still talking to him. They're still very close friends. I mean, when you work with somebody for 12 years like this, you think that you just stop talking to them just because your boss dismissed one of you? No, he has no right to tell Bobby Webster not to talk to Masai Ujiri ever again. And honestly, you don't want to have that loss. So it's like already, it's weird. The void, he's not here. We need to hear the word winning more. It's like I miss him. I miss hearing the word winning. Maybe all that buildup of saying winning has finally come through right now, and winning is happening like crazy. I don't know. Either way, Bobby doesn't want to make it sad. He can still talk to Masai. It's not like Masai died or anything. He's gone. He's still talking to him, and he is still a part of things to a degree, even not officially, though. I'm telling you right now, I mean, if you really want to ask Masai's opinion on something, he could get it still. He may be like, in some ways, like Wayne Embry. He's an advisor to some degree, in some sort of way, kind of tucked away, not officially in this way or that way, but as a friend, he's an advisor. He's still involved, I'm telling you. To a degree, he is. Kaz is saying this, love how the guys noticed Ingram wasn't in the huddle, and they swarmed him. Such good vibes. Man, yeah, it's just good stuff. Good stuff. The team camaraderie is awesome. It's awesome. And the fact that we have such a high level of competition, because guys are kind of going for the same things, and they're still playing like this, and they're still all for one, win for all. That is really important. It's really important. And it's a hard balance to keep, guys. It's a hard balance to keep on teams sometimes. So, yeah, Kaz is saying also, I'm out on Koloko. He made his decision and went to the Lakers, and it didn't work out. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, I'm the same way, too. It's like you made your decision, you left, just like Kawhi. That's why he ain't getting a statue. And you know what? You're probably not getting another opportunity to come here. Yeah, Serge Ibaka is looking more and more like he wants to come to Toronto, though. Let's go to the Instagram stories. Jared Rodin played in France finally. He made his debut for Paris, France. It's nice to see him back on the court and getting out there. He had some nice highlights in the game, getting a buzzer beater shot at one point in the game. So, yeah, now he's traveled with his team to Athens. So he is in Greece on a road trip with the Paris, France basketball club. And, yeah, he's back. He's rusty, but he'll be back stronger. But, yeah, there's some nice scenery. An hour ago he posted in Athens, Greece, of the ruins and just the amazing history of that region. Yeah, he's over there getting his culture. Let's see. Lloyd has words of wisdom. He's saying this morning, thank you, God, for another day of life. Let's just keep it simple and have gratitude to the Creator that we all are still here and we have breath in our lungs. Let's see. Norman Powell went to Chicago, and when he's in Chicago, he has to go to Harold's Chicken. So when he's in Chicago, he goes to Harold's Chicken. So if you're in Chicago, you know about Harold's Chicken, right? Let's see. Jamal Shedd's got the footage of him and Jacoby before the game singing the anthem together. And Jacoby wasn't singing it. And Jamal's like, sing, bro. Sing, man. And then you start singing. He's like, thank you. So goofy, man. Y'all, seriously, y'all really want to be Canadians? Well, keep singing the anthem. You're doing a good job. That's right. And he's saying, yeah, he had to rap with Curtis Andrade before the game while he's mic'd up. And he said he had to do it in honor of Jonathan Mobo. I wonder what Jonathan's response to that is. He's kind of like, whoa, just stop, bro. Just stop is probably what he's saying. Just stop, Jamal. Come on, you're embarrassing yourself. Come on. Jamal's also posted a clip from the TV show with the moving guys and Drake's in it. I don't know what the show's called at this point. But Jamal's a big fan of Drake. We know this. He's his favorite artist. And, well, he's posted this thing where Drake's saying to the mover guy, you guys have guys. You have guys. And you're like, yeah, we have guys. And it's a celebration that the Raptors at men put together for the win last night. Yeah, we have guys. We have guys. 140 to 110. We have guys. And there's the crew. There's the picture of Mamu with the chain and everybody standing around him. A couple of guys are doing little muscle poses, Grady and RJ. And Emmanuel's walking out. Team wins, got to keep it rolling. Total team effort throughout the whole season so far. It's early in the season, but we're not satisfied. We got to keep it going for sure. One step closer to Vegas. That's what Emmanuel's saying on his way out from the court last night after the win over the Wizards. And there's the graphic, advanced to the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup, the Raptors. I love to see it, man. RJ celebrating everything, posting the score, posting the team photo, posting Jamal singing the anthem. So he's laughing at his Canadian singing as a Canadian. Wubs posting the score, posting the anthem, posting the team photo, the guys. And there's a funny face from him and Jamal Shed on his Instagram. What is that? That's like the squinting face. Jacoby Walter, what is that? And a very proud, confident face by Jamal Shed there. Those guys are peas in a pod, man. They're totally peas in a pod. Yeah, let's see. Mamu is putting on blast the World Cup rankings for FIBA. And it's saying that Georgia is ranked 10th all of a sudden. They got Germany, Turkey, Greece, Serbia, France, Lithuania, Finland, Poland, Slovenia, and then Georgia at 10, above Spain and Italy. Wow. So Mamu's very excited that Georgia's rising up in the Eurobasket rankings right now. Good stuff, man. There's one of the highlights from last night, a steal and a dunk. Brandon hitting the floor and throwing it up the court, and then up the court to Mamu for the jam. I love that, man. Brandon, man, hitting that court, man. He's really bought in. Yeah. Let's see. Coco Wade posting the advanced graphic. There's Grady coming in the game on his Instagram. And more highlights from the game, including a dunk that Grady had in the game last night. I knew last night's game would be a game where Grady could possibly do some stuff and flourish against the Wizards. It's just the kind of matchup where Grady's the kind of player you could really get some good stuff out of. Yeah, 95, the Raptor. The mascot's got the court there, and he's like in love with Nelly Furtado. Yeah, Nelly Furtado was at the game last night at courtside. I am like a bird, only fly away. Yeah, apparently the Raptor is a crush on her, and like she's like his lady, his favorite girl. So he was hitting on the Raptor was hitting on Nelly Furtado at the game last night. Just so y'all know, Jonathan Mobo he's reposted Shed rapping, and this is his response to him. He says, "Not bad, not bad." He says he's not bad actually with the rapping. So the early critique is in from Mobo for Shed's rapping on the mic last night. Not bad, is what he said. Yeah, okay. It could have been worse, I guess. Jonathan Battles got the score up too. Eric Smith's book, We the Raptors. Y'all go buy it. He's got it all over the place. Apparently, Charlie Villanueva's gotten his copy. He has his own chapter in it, Charlie V. And, well, Charlie Villanueva got his copy, and he's thanking Eric Smith for getting his copy. Yeah, Charlie V is a beloved Raptor who loves Toronto. He loves Toronto. We're going to find out more about that. Eric Smith's also putting on blast Sun Life, dunk for diabetes. $1,000 for every home game dunk will be donated to MLSE Foundation in support of healthy, active living programs. So that's a good cause right there. Toronto Tempo president Teresa Resch wearing the Roots jacket. I'm talking about the exciting times of building the team right now. We want jerseys. We want players. And, of course, the draft lottery is today for the WNBA, and they'll find out the top 5 picks. The Tempo will be picking 6th, guys. That is the 6th spot in the draft for the Tempo, not the expansion draft. The regular draft is what I'm talking about right now. Yeah, let's see. There's Serge Ibaka. He's got his song playing right now. These days, it's Wah, 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 and Wah with Serge Ibaka and Dexter, the rapper. So go check out Serge's new latest bangers. They're out on social media spaces to hear music. So look it up. Yeah, there's Matt Devlin coming in the game last night with a big bag of Fisherman's Friend. Yeah, he's the Fisherman's Friend spokesperson, that's for sure. He's walking all around with this huge bag. It's like, why don't you get a regular size bag? It's like, dude, that's not haul that thing around. You got to take that thing through customs. Oh, he's with Nick Nurse with it. Nick Nurse used to do the Fisherman's Friend too. Yeah, okay, Matt Devlin, you and your Fisherman's Friend. I said it enough times right now. I've been an advertisement for you too. He's just taking pictures of him with the Fisherman's Friend wherever he goes. This thing is massive. It's like a pillow size. Why you got so much big Fisherman's Friend? I don't know. Either way, Orange Spice. All right, I get it. Gary Trent Jr. is making shots for the Bucks. And, well, you know, the Bucks are a 500 team, and they are, as far as Giannis goes, I'm telling you right now, Giannis not there. Giannis is there. Okay, you're all right. Murray Boyles is coming in the game. I'd like to see him come back. His injury is not that bad from what they described. The MCL sprain is not that serious, and they do expect him to be back sooner than later. Just an update on Colin Murray-Boyles real quick, guys. There's a Linux. We're in the 8 for the Spurs on his Instagram. And let's see. This is there's a new season of some show that Chris Boucher is really into. I don't know what's going on there. He's been posting all these really weird like cartoons with advice about life. I'm telling you, man, he's getting real philosophical. He's in a weird place right now. Yeah, he's one of the things he's saying here though is if you let them make you a monster, they win everything forever. Yeah, we don't want you to be a monster, Chris. You're a badass. You're a good person. You're a person of God. You got baptized. You are a great Raptor legend and a champion. And just because your present moment may be where you are and what you are, doesn't matter. You are always going to be the other things too. And just stay steadfast and don't be a monster because you will lose everything in some ways if you act out in a dumbass way. So just stay self-controlled. You've done so well the last couple of years considering different things. Just stay the course. You're going to be fine, Chris. You're going to be fine. Your battles in your life now are nothing compared to the ones you went through when you were younger. So remember that. Always keep yourself grounded on this. I know you do. You're so smart. You get this. That you have a life of luxury and gratitude and all kinds of things are great. And not everything can be totally perfect. And you ought to understand that. That's right. AJ Lawson posting clips of him playing against the Wizards and the Raptors. Hard work pays off on the daily. Yeah, you're coming up. You're going to be there soon. I believe in you, AJ. Just keep working on the 905 for a while, and you will be there. I trust you. You will be there. 6-0 for Andrew Jones, the best start in franchise history for the Raptors 905. Be proud of that, man. It's awesome. And he got a cake. It looks like his wife gave him a dungeon candy salad on a deck or something like that. I don't know. His coach's cake or something like that. It's a little bit weird, man. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it. I guess that's it for the Instagram right now. Yeah. Yeah, they're celebrating wins, and team photos are all over the Raptors players' Instagram. Team photo is all over it, man. It's awesome, man. Yeah, let's see. Let's keep going. Paul B's here. Good to see Paul B. He's our Raptor freak holding it down in the great state of Wisconsin and Bucks territory. Paul's saying, thank you, Masai, for this team. That's right. For Masai forever. Thank you, Masai. You're awesome. Hey, there's the mole. The mole's running across in the yard right now. I see you, Molly. Molly, 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 Molly. Molly, Molly, Molly. There he goes, right across into his little hole. That's fun. That's fun. The mole's out there. I see him. All right, anyway, distracted. Kaz is saying this. I noticed the NBA YouTube channel released highlights from the Raps versus Wiz game last night, and it's 15 minutes. Raptors admin, take some fucking notes. We don't want 2-minute videos. Yeah, I know. Thank goodness for that, at least. You know, the Raptors official YouTube channel makes 2-minute clips, exactly 2-minute clips for our highlights. It's just not enough. Give us 5 minutes. Give us at least 3 or 4. But 2 minutes? What are you doing? You're robbing us of content, and you're like very strict about this. I mean, and the fact that they're always 2 minutes, it just shows they're limiting content to a certain amount, and they're not actually showing what they need to show because it should be a variance of different times, not just squarely 2 minutes. Raptors YouTube, what the fuck are you doing in your life? And NBA YouTube, thank you for giving us 15 minutes of highlights at least. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy, man. Trevor J saying this. NBA Association talked about how good we are, and people have to start paying attention. That's right. That's right. RJ goes on that show. They better listen and respect Rowan Barrett Jr. That's right. Cass saying this. That's a big milestone, Lex. As a kid growing up with an alcoholic, 15 years is discipline and commitment. Big ups to you, my guy. Yeah, you know, in some ways I had to do it. If I wasn't going to get sober at that point, it's either going to be more jail or death. Seriously. Because I was that kind of alcoholic, man. I was really in a bad place. And man, I'm just so grateful that I've got a post-alcohol life, and I've had it for 15 years now. And in some ways, you know, there's so many memories I've had in the last 15 years that I actually have, because there's a lot of time before that when I was an adult that I went to a lot of events and did amazing things, but I don't remember them because I was blackout drunk. And in some ways that's sad, because there were really cool things that I did, like go to WrestleMania and do things like that. I mean, I remember it to the most part, but there's some concerts I absolutely don't remember very well, and different things I did just because I was a drunk. And well, in the last 15 years, I've gotten to remember the Raptors championship very well because I was not drinking in 2019. So, you know, it's a really awesome thing. I appreciate you guys for the flowers, man. I do. Two-finger salute to CJ McCollum. Yeah, this is to you for getting in RJ's face last night. That's right. Denal saying my initials are RJ, so I'm all for RJ over CJ. That's awesome, man. Malachi Flynn is in who knows where. Delano Banton might be playing overseas too. Jalen Harris probably back overseas too. Sheesh. Well, I know where these guys are. Malachi Flynn is in Europe. He's playing in Turkey, I think. I think he plays in Turkey this season. Delano Banton is in the G League. He played last night for the Texas Legends, which is the G League team for the Dallas Mavericks. And he had a huge game, actually. So Delano's still hanging around a little bit. He's in the G League trying to make it back in the league through Dallas's team. And then Jalen Harris, well, he played for Winnipeg Sea Bears this summer. He was in Winnipeg playing the Canadian Elite Basketball League the last place I saw him. He may be actually in the G League again right now on some G League roster currently right now. That's likely where Jalen Harris is. He could be on Westchester. No, he's not on Westchester Knicks because I've seen him. He's not there. I don't know where Jalen Harris is exactly. Last known whereabouts, Winnipeg on the CBL team this summer. Yeah, Trevor's saying this. We don't want Koloko back. Raptors are not collecting recycle bags. You want a dog? You get it. You get it for that. Yeah, we ain't trying to recycle Koloko coming back through. You had your chance through the door. You already came through here. And, well, you guys made the wrong choice. Alrish Shamshay, pay attention to this situation, my guy. Pay attention to this situation. You do not want to make the same mistake as your Cameroonian brother, Christian Koloko. You do not. You do not. All right, it's a dunk for Trevor. He's at 171. 171. We don't need no recycling. That's right. We don't need recycling. Isaac Campbell's here. Good to see the benevolent one. He's putting Scotty on blast. Scotty is shooting 50% plus on field goals, 40% plus on three-pointers, and 80% plus on free throws. So, yeah, there's a good true shooting percentage for Scotty right now. In some ways, the one that's the most impressive is the three-pointers being over 40% after the dismal percentage he shot last year. Many people are already pigeonholed him to be a shitty three-point shooter. As I said earlier, he was hurt, and he is a much better three-point shooter than you think. And part of it is he's taking more set shots. I think that's one of the biggest things that Darko's kind of told his three-point shooters is no more floating shots or coasting from side to side or motion threes. We want set threes. We want you to be set in your footwork and take a nice set shots over the highest percentage. Because, you could say in the last couple of years, whether it's Grady, Jacoby, RJ, Scotty, they may be doing shots in motion where they put the ball on the dribble and they're moving and then going up and shooting. No, more of it this year is like you stay in your spot and we'll pass it around and you just stay set. And when you get that ball, pull the trigger. Because some of the motion shots, when you start adding it, it can go both ways. If you put the ball down for the dribble, you can get a rhythm and get a good rhythm for your shot and you'll make it higher there. But there also is times where you are not square and you're in the air and you're kind of moving in the air. You can't get as good of a shot if you're not squared up. So I like the commitment to squaring up for the threes and being more set in their shots like RJ and Scotty. Scotty very much is taking way less motion threes where he's very set. He's very set when he's shooting them. And that's a huge part of the difference too and why he's shooting way better. Yeah, the 50% field goal percentage is awesome too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cass is digging the Georgian move up the FIBA. That's right. Lex, do we know which draft comes first, expansion or regular? I don't know. I actually don't know. But they're both supposed to happen in December. That's what I do know. And, it's going to be so exciting to see how they go about this. Will they draft the best absolute players in the expansion draft and then move people for fit if they have to, like Isaiah Thomas did with the early Raptors expansion draft? Because he drafted BJ Armstrong first, and he was the most talented, but BJ didn't want to come here. So Isaiah took BJ Armstrong and made him into a trade to get multiple players. So there's a lot of different strategies about how the Tempo could handle the expansion draft and their first draft ever. And I'm also wondering the factor of free agency, because it seems like in some ways the Tempo are in a special situation with Sandy Brondello being such a popular coach that we may attract free agents immediately from our first initial season and get like a huge name player just through free agency all of a sudden because Sandy's like that. So I'm fully expecting that too. It's like we'll get a draft pick or two, in the regular draft. We'll get a meat of our roster from the expansion draft. And then are we going to be able to do some free agency immediately and maybe even lure a big name because of that, outside of that, to build our first ever Toronto Tempo roster? It's very exciting. And I love being at the ground to build it with Teresa, Sandy, and Monica, and to see what they're going to do and how they're going to put this team together. It's going to be fun. I don't know for sure yet. I would hope the expansion draft is before the draft, but I don't know if that's true. And once again, they have to come together on this CBA with the agreement with the players on how they're going to get paid before any of this happens. So that's the holdup in some ways right there. That's the holdup. Neil's here. Good to see Neil checking in. And so is Danny, the electrician. Good to see Danny here. We've got our plumber and our electrician. We're good now. That's right. We got any problems here? This is like, you guys should be the poster boys for the Scotty Barnes trade school, because we got Danny and we got Nameless, and these guys are making buku dollars in their new jobs and their lives as tradesmen, and the apprenticeships that they're doing and what they're doing right now. That's right. They are walking embodiment of Scotty Barnes' trade school advertisements and stuff like that. These guys are kicking ass right now. Danny, good to see you. Salute to you, man. RJ for life. Let's go, Shaq Lindsay. Let's go. Danny's saying, I was going to watch the game and I fell asleep after work. Well, you can always go back and watch it still somehow, some way. You can get the highlights. Maybe they still do Game in an Hour on some sort of cable channel somewhere. But yeah, it's worth catching at least the highlights and watching it. But it is also the Wizards, and it was a 30-point rout. And it was just, I wasn't getting really that stressed at all during the game. It was like very lackadaisical, just kind of like, let's just enjoy it and watch it and not get like worried in the least, because we should just kick their ass. And well, we did. And the point differential honestly could have been pushed higher if the Raptors were playing even more tightened up. They have another level of being more tightened up, and they could have beat them by 50. At the beginning of the game, I was kind of thinking, you know what? I'd love to see them break an NBA record like tonight with something, somehow, some way, by just kicking the shit out of the Wizards. Seriously. Because in some ways, because of the point differential rules of the NBA Cup, running up a score to some crazy, insane amount is not frowned upon in this situation. And I kind of was hoping they do that. I was kind of like, man, the Raptors just beat a team by 60 points or something like that. That would be crazy. It'd be crazy to see. It'd be pretty awesome. All right, guys, straight goods on Canadian goods real quick. Today we're talking salad dressing. You know, I wasn't even sure if we had Canadian-made salad dressing up here, but I found some. And it's out of Concord, Ontario. This company is called Fresh Dress. And I've got 2 bottles of what they got here. We got Greek Lightning and Green Goddess dressing. And these are dressings that were made in Canada, and they're sold in Canada and have nothing to do with the United States. So if you can find a Fresh Dress at your grocery store, this is a dressing, salad dressing, and you don't have to mess with the States at all. So support Canadian industry, support Canadian companies, and support Canadian workers. Because, you know, we start switching from Kraft and other dressing companies, and we start buying these Canadian dressings. You know what happens? These people have to go make some more facilities and hire more people to make more, because we're making more demand. And we're instantly creating more jobs in our country. And the money and the profits stay in our country and in our economy. That's why it's more important than ever to buy Canadian. At the very least, do not buy American and buy from other countries otherwise. But yeah, today, Canadian dressing. It's called Fresh Dress. And I've got 2 versions of it right here. I got Greek Lightning and Green Goddess. And like it says right there, 100% organic and awesome. So yeah, you good, healthy dressing, Canadian dressing, support Canadian jobs. That's what I'm saying right there. Fresh Dress is the name of the company right there. Yeah. Let's keep going. Stargate's here. Good to see Stargate. All these players who didn't want to play in Canada weather, it was for the Raptors or the Grizzlies. Only one I have heard who publicly said he regretted it was Steve Francis in reference to the Grizzlies. Yeah, Steve Francis is really interesting in that documentary, The Grizzly Truth, talking about his part, because he probably threw the last nail in the coffin of the Vancouver Grizzlies. When he denied going there, he really screwed them up, and they basically had to move after that. So he is really the catalyst for why Vancouver lost their team, is Steve Francis. Now, there were other guys. I mean, Kenny Anderson, I don't know if he's ever come around and said, man, I regret not going to Toronto. You know, Chauncey didn't really want to be here, but he did come here and play a year for us. So give him that credit. There's been a lot of guys and on the download that said, yeah, I don't really want to be on the Toronto Raptors. And Rudy Gay, he's been very public about this and saying this. He's an asshole. It is whatever. But there's a lot more guys that are like, yeah, I want to be on the Raptors at this point. And the younger guys are seeing this. And I think that that's part of why we needed to build this culture. It's like, if we can't get good free agents, if most of the league didn't want to be here for the first 15 years of our existence, it's not the same anymore at this point. We're a destination and we're a very good team to land on if you get drafted here. And they know this at this point. They know this at this point. Colin Murray Boyles, his reaction at the draft was like, oh, fuck. I don't know exactly what his reaction was there, but I'm sure with everything he's found out about the organization, the team, the players, the coaches, and everything, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm glad I got drafted to the Raptors. This is good. This is a very good thing. Because seriously, you got to get drafted to the Wizards. Seriously, you get drafted to the Wizards. Trevor's saying this, the most beautiful thing I saw last night when Toronto players and Washington players got together for prayer. I haven't seen them do this very often. I've seen it a couple times, but not with the Raptors so often. They had a prayer circle after the game, and Garrett and Scotty were in the middle of it with a lot of the Wizards. And that was a very nice moment. I agree with this. I mean, I see a lot of teams in different sports and different places do this, but I hadn't seen the Raptors really do this so much. But it was nice to see last night, for sure. For sure. It's a positive thing, for sure. And it shows the connection and this is just a sport and we may be competitors, but when we get down to it, we're all one as children under God and the Creator. So it's like, yeah, that was really cool to see. And like I said, I don't remember seeing them do this too often. Our guys after the game, and it's cool. Maybe we'll see this more often going forward. We'll have to see. Stargate saying Tyrone Lue wanted Lou Will. Oh, Lou Will. Okay, you spelled that really crazy. Why would you spell Lou Lue? That's Tyronn Lue's last name. Lou Williams. Okay, Lou Williams wanted to stay. Serge wanted to stay. Norman wanted to stay. Oh, lots of guys that wanted to stay. Yeah, Gary wanted to stay. Chris wanted to stay. Kyle wanted to stay. Pascal wanted to stay. It's more about guys who hadn't been here and whether they wanted to come here in the first place is what we're talking about. And have any of them regretted not coming through and saying, yeah, man, maybe I should have went to the Raptors. I don't know if BJ Armstrong gives a shit about that. I don't know if Kenny Anderson gives a shit about that. Alonzo Mourning. I don't know if these guys care about not coming to Toronto and what they did. They probably don't. Alonzo Mourning's the cocky dude. He's Miami Heat Nation. He doesn't think twice about not reporting to Toronto and the Vince Carter trade. I'm sure he doesn't at all. I'm sure he doesn't. He's an arrogant guy. Let's keep going. CJ Miles as well. That's right. Roger Raymond's here. That's right. The group of both teams gathered for prayer. That was so cool. Yeah. Lou Will. Yeah. You wrote that weird, Lou Will. I was like, what is that spelling? That's weird, man. All right, let me go check on my tabs a little bit more. Let's see Raptors Reddit. Let's see what they're going on about. Six game win streak. Yeah. That's the right thing to talk about right there. Let's see what else. Brandon Ingram chilling on the bench with his Tims. What is Timbits or what? Tims? What Timberlands? I don't know what they're talking about. It does seem like the guys on the bench when they got out in the fourth quarter, they were a lot of palling around between Quickly, Brandon and Scotty and RJ. It's cool. I like to see that camaraderie. I really do. Yeah. A 48-point third quarter. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. Raptors are 5th in net rating in the league. Oklahoma City, number 1. Denver, 2nd. Houston, 3rd. Detroit, 4th. And the Raptors are 5th, just above San Antonio. You got to love that. All right, let me see. What else we got? Yeah, the rest of this is not that important. Raptors Reddit's kind of just crap. It's just crap. Let's see. Is there something new on here about anything to do with Raptors? No, there isn't. Check on your fantasy teams. We got today and tomorrow for this week. So get your lineup set up because if you don't, you're going to lose. I'll say that. Let's see. Happy birthday to, first of all, Pop So. Pop So is 44 today, former Raptor from Senegal. He played for the Raptors twice from 2004 to 2005 and also from 2006 to 2007. So happy birthday to Pop So, early Raptor from then. It's his birthday. And also happy birthday to former Raptor Benoit Benjamin. Benoit Benjamin did come up to Toronto and play for us for 4 games for 1 year. in 1996-97. The former center for the Los Angeles Clippers was a Raptor for 4 games. He started 3 of them, and he averaged 3.3 points per game. So happy birthday to Benoit Benjamin. It is his birthday also today, and Benoit is wow, he's 61, guys. Wow, Benoit is up there. He's 61. So there's your Raptors birthdays for today. A couple birthdays there. All right, let's do the classic card. And we'll get out. We'll get out of here. Yeah, and I'll do the preview for tomorrow for you guys when we have tomorrow's game. All right, here we go. Here's the classic card. It's not so classic, but it's a little bit tough. Let's see if you guys know who this player is. Right there. Full name answer, please. Full name answer. Yeah, Stargate saying, sorry, Lex, I work nights now, so I'm a bit out of it. It's all good, my guy. It's all good. You missed a game last night. It's too bad. James, you put that in. Just the first name is not right, but the second name is. It's Rashawn Holmes. It's not spelled exactly right, Cass, but we'll give it to you either way. It is right. Rashawn Holmes is the card. It's a 100-point card because it's fairly difficult. So, yeah, let's see. Rashawn Holmes, and it's Cass today. Let's see. Why is that doing that? Okay, my keyboard is messed up. Rashawn Holmes, and the card is Kaz, and it's 100 points. All right, cool. All right, last chance. I'm gonna get out of here real quick. We'll do the wrap up real fast right now, and yeah, I guess that's it for the comments. So yeah, Raptors won last night. Good win over the Wizards in the in-season tournament. And 4 guys scored 20. We had a 48-point third quarter, which is absolutely fantastic. My stars of the game in order, 7 stars of the game: Sandro Mamukelashvili, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickley, Jamal Shed, and Jacoby Walter. Yeah, we're going to play the Nets tomorrow, and I might be going to the game tomorrow. I'm not totally sure. At the last minute, I may be going to the game tomorrow. And if I do go to the game, it's going to be a very special thing why I'm going to the game. And you guys will find out. I don't want to give it away in the next couple of days. We just got to see if it happens. If I go to the game tomorrow, it's going to be a very special thing, and you guys are going to be, wow. You're going to be like, holy crap, this is insane. If I get to the game tomorrow. I'm hoping I will. I'm definitely going to the game on Wednesday with Adriana for Indiana. But yeah, I might be going to 2 of the next 3 games. Possibly be going down there tomorrow to see the game, guys. So all you guys have a great Saturday. Thanks for joining me for reaction to the great win last night. ESPN doesn't have to shine a light on what we're doing. We're going to do what we're doing anyway, and we're going to be successful. And we're going to get the accolades one way or another by the end of it anyway. So it doesn't matter. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying, are the next 2 games on a back-to-back? Yes. We are at home for both of them. We're going to play the Nets tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's an earlier in the evening game. And then on Monday night, the Cavs come in and we play them here at Scotiabank also. So we play Brooklyn and Cleveland 2 nights in a row in the next 2 nights, Sunday and Monday night. So, yeah, I'm thinking bench Jakob tomorrow or anybody that needs to be benched and have full strength for Monday against the Cavaliers is what I'm thinking is the smart strategy on that. All right, y'all, have a great Saturday. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream, and just have a fantastic day. I'll leave you with the nature as I leave real quick. We'll see how the nature is outside, and I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow. I'll have the stream tomorrow, the preview for the Brooklyn Nets in the morning at 9:30. All right, y'all, have a great day. Thanks for watching me. I appreciate all y'all's support and subscriptions and comments and everything y'all do to help me do this channel. I appreciate you guys.